Yeah, I've,
Privacy.
I mean, I'm gonna try to be online, it just depends upon how my
Okay.
light
We'll
goes,
talk.
but I've already set it all up, they're gonna try to meet in person.
Okay.
I'm the chairperson, so
Yeah.
Megan,
so maybe
Megan and
I-
I have been talking.
Okay, I maybe misunderstood,
Can?
my conversation with Sarah. Because it didn't,
You know,
she had thought they weren't doing it online,
I mean, not even withstanding that.
but we'll figure it out.
I think they are.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah,
Thank
but
you.
like I said, I don't wanna be on drugs and be on an online meeting.
Well, that's why we have to
Yeah, that's a good point.
weigh all
We never had
factors.
anybody, I mean, we never, I've been on that board
Because
for
we'll very likely
ever.
combine the,
So,
I just,
And it won't show up on the.
and it was supposed to be in Aitkin, we have some stuff going on, conversations and communication issues
Well,
and,
that's kind of a thing of the
but
past.
so,
How so?
I know everybody else is gonna be there,
That
we're
was
trying to
the
get them in
original
person
intent.
though,
But,
just,
and I know we get dinged up on that, even the auditors
But
are backing
it's
up
better than not being there at all.
on it. You know,
We'll talk.
yeah, I'm open.
Yep.
One minute.
Calendar. It's been a whirlwind today.
Showtime?
Are you ready? Yep.
Let's call the meeting to order. We'll note the presence of a quorum with all commissioners present. I'd invite you to please stand. We'll begin with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and welcome to guest staff visitors present with us here this morning. First item would be approval of the agenda. I do have one change, and that's item 12A and 12B should be flip-flopped. And these are the labor union contracts. Commissioners, anything else for the agenda? Any other changes to the agenda?
On the consent agenda, I'd like to discuss the out-of-state travel.
And that would be item 2N,
Yes, sir.
as in Nora. Should we put that to 2.1? Commissioners, any other changes? Other changes? If not, entertain a motion to approve as revised.
Make the motion to approve as amended.
Commissioner LaVisca moves, support.
Second.
Motion supported, Commissioner Westerland. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion's carried. Agenda is approved as revised. On to citizens' public comment. Are there any comments or requests from visitors? Do we have anybody online?
no, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Second call, comments, requests from visitors. Third, last call, comments, requests from visitors. Hearing none, we will proceed to the consent agenda as revised. I'd entertain a motion.
So move, Mr.
Commissioner
Chair.
Westerland moves consent agenda as revised. Support.
Support.
Motion supported by Commissioner Sample. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried. The consent agenda as revised is hereby approved. On to the 2.1. That would be out-of-state travel. Commissioner Sample?
Well, I just think that with not knowing what our state funding is, that we should suspend travel for a year and set the example as we're going through negotiations. And has this been budgeted for?
It would be, I'm
Yes.
sorry, may I, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Commissioner LaVisca.
In our proposed budget, as we were working through budget committee, yeah, this would be in the budget.
Okay.
And Commissioner Sample brings up a point because it wasn't listed as on this sheet as being
The
budgeted.
budget for next year hasn't been approved yet. So,
Okay,
Mr. Chair? Yeah, I mean, I think it's important for us to be a part of the NACO, AMC. They do a lot of lobbying for us. They help us understand what's going on in the federal, the state. I just really think it's an important entity, although I don't have any desire to go to Washington or wherever they go. Just because, I mean, we have great people here. And I think, Brett, you're in Washington quite a bit too on your own. You know,
Yes.
lobbying for yourself or whatever, getting money for
County.
Tamara. I mean, you do a lot of stuff there. So I think it's important for us to be a part of that. So that's,
Just my concern, was it funded?
Yes, it
Oh.
is funded.
Was
Yeah.
it funded? It hasn't been funded yet because that hasn't been approved. That was my concerns. And then as we go through negotiations, it sets an example for the rest. That's my point.
well, I think that,
it's approved in the preliminary.
yeah, isn't it preliminarily, we approved
Right.
it?
Yes,
So
we
I
did.
don't know, I mean, are we gonna change that? Are we gonna,
I'm just asking that question.
okay, yes,
When I
I'm
seen
not
it
on the
on the-
budget, I'm not on the budget committee, so,
But I'm just saying, and we put this on the consent agenda, I just wanted it to be talked about
okay,
in front of
Yep. Oh,
everybody,
okay.
because that's not normal business approving out-of-state travel. I think in transparency, we should have this
Yep.
discussion. That was my point.
Okay. Chair, if I might,
Yeah, Commissioner Carney?
we addressed this last year also with concerns with the budget. Now, while I respect Commissioner Sample's opinion, I do believe that it's very short-sighted. For the sole fact that the return of our investment of going out there has been proven in past. We've garnered $6 to $7 million to redo the water plant at Hill City. Had we not been out there, that funding probably would not come down. Secondly, it's not all about the money. It's the contact and point of meeting our peers out there to get things done. Same with AMC. Being a part of these, you're stronger as a whole than you are as a single. Case in point, in 2026, at the end of this last session, legislation was going in to vote on these cost shifts that were coming down to the counties. AMC was able to get 60 to 70 commissioners down at the Capitol to talk to legislation, to state that the impact of these cost shifts are going to be devastating to the counties. Having done that, we were able to convince the voting body to push out these fundings to 27. So the minimal cost that it costs to travel out there and speak with our legislators, whether it be Republican or Democrat, it doesn't matter. We were received by both last time, which was very nice. Is well worth the money I feel that's spent. And the same with the Association of Minnesota Counties. I just believe that being a part of that, we're a stronger county, and we have support. That's how I feel.
Commissioner Lister?
yeah, I'd like to echo Commissioner Carney and the value that it brings, I think, to go to these conferences. Especially, I think, the legislative conference, when they do get out there and they do connect with the legislators personally. So with all that as well, I have talked to some of our department heads in the county, and they've all echoed that the information that we're bringing back has been valuable and does give them a lot of things to work on. And I know Commissioner Sample, I respect the definitely the transparency and whether this is normal business or not, but having the discussion is definitely good. And I know that the year you went out there, you had also said that some of the connections you can make with our peers out there are really valuable. So
I agree.
That's where
But my thing was, I wanted it discussed
Yep.
in transparency. And the $6 million for Hill City we did find that in Department of Agriculture. But we did not get that for them. The city of Hill
nobody-
City got that for them.
Point of order here, sir. Nobody said we got that for them. That was not the intent of that conversation. Had we not been out there, we could have not garnered that money and assisted Hill City with that. The same that we're doing for Palisade, the same that we're doing for contract, or for Tamarack, excuse me.
Thank you.
And commissioners, if I may, I don't know that it's a matter of value versus expense as it is the transparency factor. The fact that it was on consent agenda, it kind of gets in with the mixture. I think historically, we've always done this under administrator reports or department head reports requesting out-of-state travel. So that may be the real pointer, not justification of it, but the transparency factor.
Mr. Chair, if I might, so as the new administrator, I just read the rules and follow them. And so our general operations policy, section 2, says it will be on the consent agenda. So there was no effort to do anything other than.
No intent.
Our policy says that. So if there's a consensus that we don't think that's the right place, we'll just amend the policy.
Yeah, policy versus what's actually historically happened are two different things in this case.
Understood.
But there again, it's, when it comes to commissioners, face it, it's a sensitive issue to the public, and justifiably so. So, I think Commissioner Sample, in terms of transparency, I certainly can understand that. Now it's transparent.
Yeah.
With that being said, a motion would be in order on this revised agenda item.
I'll make the motion on the revised,
To approve?
thank you, approve.
Okay, motion to set effect by Commissioner Westerland, support. Is there support to that motion?
I'll support.
Okay, motion is supported by Commissioner LaVisca. Again, the motion pending, the motion on the floor is to approve this expenditure. Is there any further discussion? Is there any further discussion? If not, we'll call the question. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries in a 4-1 vote. The record minutes will reflect Commissioner Sample was the nay vote. And that concludes the consent agenda. On to Congressman Stauber. We have with us Carrie Lindstrom, the new field representative for Congressman Stauber. Welcome. Good to see you again, Kara.
Morning.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Loud and clear.
Okay. I just wanted to come and give a quick legislative update. And as we know that the government is finally back open after 43 days, however long it was. So that CR is good until January 30th of next year. So potentially we could be shut down again January 30th, February 1st of next year. Hopefully that doesn't happen, because as of right now, 3 appropriation bills have been passed. We need 9 more before January 30th to fund the government. So hopefully that all goes according to plan and we're not shut down again in a few months. And then as far as healthcare goes, I know that the Senate is supposed to be taking up the healthcare issue and kind of going from there, whether they're gonna extend the ACA subsidies or come up with something completely different. I don't know what's gonna happen with that. But once the Senate votes on something, then the House will look at it, so that'll be probably right before the holidays or Christmas at this point. So we'll see where that goes. And I know that a lot of you are interested in community projects. And right now, usually we won't have any open for fiscal year 26 because we started this year on a CR. We're starting next year on a CR again because of the shutdown. So the portal will be open on the Congressman's website January 1st, but that could be changing if different appropriations are set or the appropriators say, no, you can't open it till March, or that's kind of all up in the air right now. But as of right now, you can go January 1st and apply for different community projects. Just, we don't know what's gonna happen after that yet.
We're talking about the sewer and water for Tamarack and, Palisades.
Yeah, for community projects, but there might be other different ways we can
Brett?
get,
Microphone.
there might be other ways that we can try to get some money for that too, with different grants, not just like community projects or earmarks.
Are you working with the mayors of Palisade and, Tamarack? I know you've been talking to Kathy, but Gayleen also.
I can contact them and talk to them. I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, and I know that your office has been in contact with Widseth. Widseth is running the point for Palisade.
Okay,
So-
yeah, I'll definitely, reach out to my coworkers who have dealt with them
Exactly.
before and
Sure.
make that connection.
Thank you.
Then I know that the Aitkin Airport was also wanting to apply for the airport terminal grant. And that's based through the FAA. And on September 12th of this year, they posted that the application would be open at the end of the month. But then we got shut down.
Right.
And as of right now, there's no new updates. So I'm gonna assume.
As of yesterday, based on our engineer, airport engineer, they're still not accepting applications.
Yeah, so kind of just wait and see on that. I can keep checking on the FAA's website and let you guys know if I see when it's gonna open, so.
Because the Aitkin Airport is ready to pull the trigger on this as soon as applications are being taken by the Minnesota Dakota Aeronautics Division.
Okay, yeah, I'll keep checking on it and see if I see that it's open December 12th or some date that I'll let you guys know.
And Congressman Stauber's office has been very, very helpful to the Aitkin Airport Commission when we were going for the runway, when the FAA was playing games. So greatly appreciated all the efforts you have done and what you can do for us in the future.
Definitely, of course. And then, like I said, there's more, the grant sheet that's passed out, there's a little bit more info on that one. And then I also have people in DC helping me piece together different ways we can come up with money, not only for the airport, but for the wastewater too, as well.
Awesome.
So, and that should come back probably after Thanksgiving at this point.
And Palisades got a drinking water problem also, do they not, like Hill City did?
Yes, the same issue.
And then the big Sandy Lake issue.
Oh, Lord.
So I finally talked to Randy Urich, who sent Mr. Sample the letter, I think in August,
September, yeah.
September, August. I talked to him on Friday. We were good to go for a meeting, had it scheduled, end of the day, and then I guess his supervisor said, no, we have to go through the Department of War and get their approval before they can talk to me or the congressman. So that's in the process of being approved. And then we'll be able to do a meeting. It'll probably be over Zoom with just me, Randy, and probably Jacob, who's Congressman Stauber's district. I can't even talk this morning. But he's in charge of the Hermantown area and all that. So he'll probably be on the meeting with me as well. So we can get the ball rolling on that. He said that he was gonna fast track it. But at this point, it'll probably be mid-December, depending. So I'll keep you guys updated on that as well.
Is there any chance we could get the county attorney to listen to that? He had a lot of great concerns at that meeting we had.
Yeah. I can send him a link when that goes through, just so that he can deal with all the legal stuff, because that's definitely not my strong suit.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, of course. And then for SNAP, I know with the whole trickle down and all of that that's going on with the shutdown that happened and the new rules because of the One Big Beautiful Bill. There's no new update on that right now. As of right now, it's all the same. But I know that the air rate is gonna be a big determining factor of how much money that the county will have to put out. And I know when we met with the congressman here a few weeks ago, a month ago, you guys had a really good error rate percentage.
Yeah.
But, yep, 0. But I know if you have one, that jumps it up to like 22%, whatever that,
Yeah, small numbers have a significant impact on the percentage.
just because it's such a small community that one can affect it. So my only advice is just to try to be on top of that, but I do understand that one can have a huge impact, so. And then if more information comes down the pike with that, then I can let you guys know if there's changes with that or any updates. But-
Chair, may I ask?
Oh, yeah, Commissioners, wide open, Commissioner
Thank you.
Carney.
With the SNAP, wasn't there an error rate waiver that was sent out that was put on hold? Sarah, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't I see an email or something from NACO that they were talking about an error rate waiver, a time frame? Not that I'm aware of. Okay, well, maybe I just misread it then.
Yeah, I
I'll
haven't
look
heard
into
about that, but if I do, I can let you know.
Okay, great, thanks.
Commissioners, any other, since we have Kara with us this morning? One thing that's of concern that's coming up actually, at least in concept, EMS funding, Medicare funding to ambulance services. Are there, I don't want to put you on the spot here, but is there any new development or are there any new developments?
Not that
Seen?
not that I'm aware of. So I can, if I hear stuff, I can always get back to you on that too.
Okay.
And I can ask people in DC who are more versed in the legislative side to see if they have any small details.
And this is again, a universal.
Yeah.
National problem. So.
Yeah. I know that in the one big beautiful bill, that 50 billion was put aside for rural healthcare over 5 years. The hospitals had to have already applied for that by November 5th, unless that was affected by the shutdown, but I don't think it was. So then that'll be dispersed.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments, Commissioners? Not, Kara, thank you very, very much. Of
course.
We appreciate your attendance, your updates here, and the board's best regards to Congressman Stauber.
Thank you guys
And
anytime.
thank you for his support.
Of course, if you have any questions, email, call me.
Okay, David?
Mr. Chair, I'm wondering if I could respond to Commissioner Kearney's
Sure.
question about the error rate. So there was a federal exemption for high error rate states to delay the implementation. So that doesn't affect us that have low error rates, but it applied to high error rate states.
All right, thank
Which
you.
I think
I thought I saw
raised
that.
significant questions about why there would be that provision for the high error rate states, but we'll leave that to the federal government to explain.
Thank you.
Looks like you're ready for winter. You got your boots and your coat and
Well, I figured it would be like a blizzard when I
I
left,
think we're
so
hours away from winter.
you never know.
make any
It's
sense.
Minnesota.
I'm excited about it. Well,
I
thank
have
you
a-
guys.
Yeah, Commissioner Sample?
One quick question, what you just said, because we have a low error rate, but if you have one person apply for SNAP, it goes up to 20%. If you have two, at that point, can we put in for that waiver? Or is this just a year thing? You see what I'm saying?
If we have a high error rate, we can put in for a waiver?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, we got 0, so the ones that have a lot, but we get two people, we can be at 40%.
Yeah, that, Mr. Chair, Commissioner Sample, that is an interesting question and perspective. And I would want to follow up with Sarah before saying anything about that.
Just a thought.
Thanks again, Kara.
Thank you.
Have a good week. Happy Thanksgiving.
On to Environmental Services, Mr. Andrew Carlstrom. Welcome, Andrew.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners.
Good morning, sir.
So the first item on the agenda, it's been a long time coming. We are excited. Requesting a public hearing date for the Shoreland Ordinance Amendments. On November 17th, 2025, Aitkin County Planning Commission held a public hearing and approved the proposed amendments to the Aitkin County Shoreland Management Ordinance. I am requesting a second public hearing date with the Aitkin County Board of Commissioners at the regularly scheduled meeting of December 16th and a proposed second reading on December 23rd. You can see the memorandum there. We had quite the timeline. We've been working on this for well over a year, and we've had good, active public engagement really since the Committee of the Whole in November of 2024. So again, the memo shows the timeline of a very active planning, reviewing, and amending process. So I believe everybody has done their due diligence on this, our most comprehensive ordinance, the Shoreland Management Ordinance. So requesting a public hearing date for December 16th on the proposed amendments to the Aitkin County Shoreland Management Ordinance.
Okay, Commissioners, you've heard the request, but I'd like to point out, this is our truth and taxation meeting, and typically the county board meeting is advanced to the afternoon. We don't know the time because we don't know the agenda. If I may suggest, 4:30 or 5 o'clock on the 16th.
On the 16th?
I don't want to do it too early, I don't want to do it too late, just to make it palatable to the public.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chair. We do it at 4:30.
Okay, a motion on the floor to set effect, setting this public hearing for December 16th at, was it 4:30, Commissioner?
Yep.
At 4:30 PM Central Standard.
Mr. Chair, you mean the 23rd?
No, the 16th.
The 16th, we don't have a board meeting.
Yeah, we do.
We do before the Truth and Taxation meeting.
It's in the evening.
We usually move the board meeting to 3 o'clock.
Move it from the 9th to the
Yeah,
16th?
because of AMC.
I'm staying corrected.
Yeah, AMC is,
AMC always used to be the first week of December, now the
Oh,
last
okay,
couple
that's
years
what
they've
threw
done
me
the
off
second
here. All right,
So I wanted to just point that out,
thank you. At 1600.
16:30.
16:30. Motion to set effect, Commissioner Sample, correct?
Yes, sir.
Support.
And that motion is supported by Commissioner Carney. Any further comments, questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion's carried. Public hearing then will be scheduled for 4:30 PM on December 16th.
Okay, thank you. Second item on the agenda is request a motion to approve new permitting and registration software. A summary of the issue since November of 2024, Planning and Zoning has been researching, meeting with, and comparing permitting and licensing software from several companies. We have been contracted with our current vendor, RT Vision, since we first went to online permitting 10 years ago. Many of their capabilities are now limited and out of date. And their customer service is slow. When we have to request a change, they have to do the change in the software. We believe that Schneider Geospatial, or GeoPermits, is the best fit for environmental services planning and zoning, and that other county departments, such as the county auditor and county highway, will be able to utilize and benefit from this software as well. We've discovered that GeoPermits is more customer user-friendly. It will allow county staff to make continuous edits, workflow edits to applications, permits, registrations, various submittals. The utilization of this software will definitely result in better department efficiency and operational capabilities. Representatives and department heads from the county administration, assessors, auditors, environmental services, highway and information technology, and county surveyor were in attendance for a GeoPermit software demonstration on November 13th. Feedback from the various departments was positive, and the demonstration showcased Otter Tail County, who utilizes GeoPermits quite extensively. I see Mr. John Welly is here, our county engineer. He emailed me and said, I support, quote, I support the purchase of GeoPermits permitting software. It will allow our office, so the highway department, to transition to online permitting for the various permits offered by our department, including oversize, overweight permits, utility permits, entrance permits, road construction materials permits. So, and the auditors, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kathleen, but they would look at utilizing for alcohol, cannabis, tobacco, large assembly permits. So we can use quite extensively across the spectrum of the county. And like I mentioned, currently, the system that we're using, RT Vision, to make edits, we have to contact the vendor and get charged for that. And then there's a time crunch there. It takes time, and then they finally get to us. So this option here, you can see I included a customer survey. So over the last about 4 or 5 months, we had our customers of the planning and zoning, environmental services, talking about different factors. I couldn't navigate through the pages, a little hard to navigate the current system, et cetera. So at this time, right now, what we're looking at, and you can see the services, the proposed services agreement, we're looking at 12 days per year of project management, customer support. So it comes with, and GeoPermits is used quite often. I believe there's 12 other counties at least in Minnesota that utilize it. One of the comments in the handout was from Ottertail, and they said, I'd have to say the biggest advantage is the ease of creating new applications and altering your applications. And we definitely have the staff that can just figure that stuff right out on the fly. Again, speed up the process for customers. And that was Michelle from Ottertail. There's a quote from Waseca County. They utilize it. And so the steps forward, if it's so approved, would be a project launch, workflow design, system configuration, then testing and deployment. And they're telling us they could get it up and running for environmental services planning and zoning late January, early February timeframe. So to be a nice overlap with current RT Vision, they have a 60-day notice that we have to notice them that we are canceling. And I think I have, it's phone friendly. So our current application process, contractors and customers can't use it on their phone. It doesn't speak with that small of a screen. Well, GeoPermits it works user friendly for phones. So at this time, I'm requesting a motion to approve a 3-year contract service agreement with Schneider Geospatial upon favorable review by the Aitkin County IT Director and the County Attorney. And back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. And as noted in the financial impact, it is budgeted for the 2026.
I'd like to ask the IT guy to stand up here and tell
Of course.
us.
You reading minds this morning, Chris?
A little bit.
Good, good.
Yeah, I support the purchase. The software package looks like a good product for us. The way that they license it is for unlimited users, unlimited number of workflows. So any county department will be able to utilize this once we bought into the system, and create as many workflows as they so choose. The pricing is based on the number of parcels. Beyond that, I don't have any complaints with the contract. The county attorney is still doing his review of the contract, and he does have some things he's going to be negotiating with them.
So it would be a contingency motion.
Yes, sir.
And will this help our handicap and our seniors that don't have access to computers, Andrew? You know, and I mean, we've had that issue with I can think of one constituent whose house burned down. And he was like, how do I do this permit, you know? It'll be easier for
If
people
they
to
have a
do.
phone, yes, sir. If they have a phone, it'll be easier for them to get on their phone, or they can always come in and we can help them with the kiosks that are in the hallway there.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Westland?
Yeah, my main concern is, as you know, we've had some permit confusion. It is so small. I mean, and then by the time you blow it up, then you have to just keep going.
Yeah.
It's just a disaster, this one we have now. I'm very pleased that I'll be the first one on it. No. It just needs to be simplified for the customer.
Absolutely.
That's really important.
Yeah.
You
That
guys
is the
have
goal.
all the stuff you need, yeah. on year end, so I'm looking for the constituent. Yeah, thank you.
Barring any further questions, a motion would be in order.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chair.
This contingency motion is proposed by Commissioner Sample, support.
I'll
And
support
the
it.
motion is supported by Commissioner Westerly. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion's carried.
Thank you. And my third item on the agenda is a request for proposal for a recycling contract. The current recycling contract between Aitkin County and Waste Management of Minnesota will expire March 14th of 2026. Waste Management currently receives and processes all drop-off recyclables, completes routine maintenance of the recycling center, and services canisters and collects recyclables at 10 different sites across of Aitkin County. At this time, I'm respectfully requesting approval to solicit bids to operate the Aitkin County Recycling Center and recycling drop-off locations for a 5-year term, March 1st, 2026 to February 28 of 2031. Please see the attached Please see the attached proposed RFP general summary. Upon approval to solicit bids, letters will be sent to all licensed solid waste haulers in Aitkin County. RFP public notices sent to the newspaper and done in accordance with Minnesota statutes 400.04. And so just to kind of add to that, as we know, the state of Minnesota requires all counties, all 87 counties to have a recycling program. Currently, our SCORE funding covers almost 40% of our costs. You can see the cost, estimated cost down on the bottom, $200,000. We spent about $190,000 last year. Recycling continues to increase. We jumped from 2023, we had 818 tons just at drop-offs at the Aitkin Recycling Center to 860 tons. And I anticipate we will have, at least 880 tons about when 2025 is done. So this is quite a logistical, there's a lot going on here, so it's a big, and again, the elephant in the room is always the recycling markets. So, it seems to be the big haulers have to do it on volume. And if you're not aware, Waste Management, their current logistics is they come out of Cohasset for Hill City, Baxter for Aitkin and Palisade and that area, and then to get the canister down in McGrath, they come out of Cambridge. So it's quite a logistical thing. So it needs to be, it's a challenge nonetheless, whether you're a big hauler or a little hauler. Waste Management operates single stream or commingled, so now the customers can just dump it off. There's no separation in Aitkin and those canister sites. You can find those different canister sites. Those are in the summary on page 12. No, that's all. We are proposing one additional site that I have budgeted for. That's a fenced-in site for the city of Hill City. And that dumpster that was there, that canister got moved to Palisade because it was being abused. There was a lot of garbage in there. I would say about 5% of folks abuse this privilege, and we just deal with it. Waste Management, partnership with myself and my staff, we're out there daily pulling items out that aren't recyclable. And so the scope of services are on page 2. And currently, again, like I said, 860 tons just at the Aitkin Recycling Center. We have 28-yard dumpsters out there at all times. And I pretty much am going to have to leave them there year-round. And so it's quite a timeline is on page 7. And again, our relationship with Waste Management has been overall positive. They supported our Household Hazardous Waste Day, our Electronic Waste Day with two individuals, as well as extra items that are needed, a skidster, things like that. And they were good to work with relocating the Hill City to Palisade. So with that, I'm requesting a motion to solicit bids through an RFP to operate the Aitkin County Recycling Center and county recycling drop-off locations. Back to you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Sample?
I'm noticing on this list that you only have McGregor and it says, for school use only. Who does the other?
That would be Countryside,
That's Countryside
sir.
out at the transfer station?
north on 65. Yeah, sometimes they call it but it's Aitkin Recycling Center, McGregor Recycling Center, just 3 miles north of McGregor.
And aren't we expanding that?
We're always looking at offering more
I mean, I
services.
seen
Yes,
you
sir.
guys out there flagging it last year.
Yes, yep. We increased the footprint. I ran that past the county board, about 20,000 square feet. So maybe in the future, taking yard waste there and stuff. But again, we have that contract with Countryside up there, that McGregor.
Okay, and doesn't she take hers to Wisconsin?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Commissioner Carney?
While you have that paper here real quick, Hill City, we've got the new proposed site that's being built right now. Is the funding, is this gonna go out for bid for them too?
Yes,
all
the
inclusive?
proposed, yep,
included.
the proposer will have to figure that in there. In past, we have done the US Army Corps of Engineers, the dam, the Big Sandy Dam, but we took that off. And so now Hill City fits in there. So we are still the same numbers that we were
Excellent.
back in 2020. But when Terry did it last, yep.
Has it been 5 years?
It has, yeah.
So I just have a question, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Commissioner
So
Westphal.
Andrew, have we gone out for proposals in the past?
Yes.
Every 5 years,
Well,
but now you want to do 3 years?
No,
Or-
this is
this
for
is
5.
5 years.
Oh, it is for 5? I
Yep,
thought-
this is
I
for
thought I heard
5, yes,
3.
ma'am.
Okay, so, boy, there's a lot of different entities that are not there anymore, garbage haulers and stuff. How many garbage haulers are in?
We have currently 9 licensed haulers, I believe, in Aitkin County.
Just in Aitkin County?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
And mostly, smaller companies.
Yeah.
Yep.
and was Waste Management, as I recall, the only one that submitted a bid?
Yes, sir, in 2020,
Well,
And
they
the
have,
existing one decided not to.
yes.
well, they have all the big dumpsters, they have all the equipment. These smaller ones don't have it to go into the different areas and,
No, again, it's a logistical challenge,
Yeah.
and
Or
then,
can they afford to have all that equipment they
yeah,
need?
they can't. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's no money in garbage. Well, you find some.
yep.
You have a lot of it.
Yeah.
And as Mr. Carlstrom indicated, things are going good. Things got off to a rocky start,
a lot
but
going
that
on.
was a major transition
Yes,
of events, of circumstances, et cetera, But I have to admit lately, and much credit to you, Andrew, too. I see you out there.
Yeah.
And your staff, that things have been going really good. I think the public is very well pleased
Yes.
with the operation.
Mr. Chair, I know, maybe a year and a half or so ago, I did get that call from McGrath that I reached out about, that they had missed like a month or a month and a half worth of pickups. And that did get remedied and rectified, so, we just kinda keep an eye on that, make sure they're picking up when they should.
yep, yes.
Cause, they're real remote, and you have some of
Yeah.
these people that, depend on that being picked up a couple times a month.
And then it just
so.
ends up on the ground and blowing around. and
Yes.
It's just,
Yeah.
yeah, been
Yeah.
there, done that.
Absolutely.
So, Commissioners, you've heard the request. And bear in mind that the budgeted price is anticipated, as noted. Things are really volatile in this business and subject to change, but this is a pretty close best guess. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion on the floor to set effect by Commissioner Westerland,
Support.
and that motion is supported by Commissioner Sample. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion's carried. Get those RFPs fired out there, Andrew.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Andrew.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You
You
too.
too,
Thank
Andrew.
you.
Thank you.
On to administrator reports, David Menke.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, before I get started on the ambulance contract, just want to note that Kevin Lee from North Ambulance is here to answer questions or provide any update you might be interested in. And so the ambulance contract before you is really the previous three contracts rolled into one. And so the total cost is for $43,000. It has been reviewed by the county attorney. There are a couple of process changes with how the billing is proposed. So in the past, North had submitted monthly reports and billings, and we paid on a monthly basis. In talking to Kevin, there's a preference to go to a quarterly report and a quarterly payment, and so we thought that made sense and reduces paperwork. And so that is really the only significant change from what you've previously had in place. And so, subject to your questions, I would ask for a motion to approve that agreement.
Okay, or would we like to hear from Kevin first?
Certainly.
Yeah. Welcome, Kevin Lee, North Memorial Ambulance, this district. Good to see you again, Kevin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As David stated, it really is just changing, we're grouping the three operations into one and then going to a quarterly billing, which makes it easier for us and the county.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's really not anything else that's changing with it.
And now for everybody's knowledge, anybody piped in on the internet, that North Ambulance pretty much covers the entirety of Aitkin County.
Yeah, we cover about 90% of it. There's a small section that Cromwell covers. Mille Lacs Health covers some areas on the southern part of the county. And then there's a real small section in the southeast part of the county that is covered by a cinch out of sandstone. But yeah, we cover about 90% of it.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Commissioner LaVisca?
would you have any plans or desires moving forward to cover the remaining areas of the county? That, I don't know how that works from your end.
We certainly could, but it needs to go through a process with the Office of EMS to change the service areas.
Your primary service areas?
Right.
And, certainly down in the southeast portion,
Yeah.
I'd have to look at the actual mileage, but we're not really close to that area either because we'd be responding from McGregor. So it's
Yeah,
some of
and-
those areas that nobody is
Yep.
really close to.
That's what I was wondering is you'd almost need a new hub in that area. So that's
Right.
kind of feasibility
Right.
question.
Yeah, and that certainly wouldn't be feasible, so.
And then, so Commissioner Carney and I also will be going out to Washington in February. And so any information we could give, because I know a lot of the federal funding is an issue for ambulance service. So any information we could get to bring out there would be helpful as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and
That's
that,
things that you would need.
yeah, and it's mainly the Medicare funding.
Yep.
And Congressman Stauber was at our Baxter ambulance station, so we met with him directly on Medicare funding too.
Yep.
There is a grant that's, I don't know how much time I have, Mr. Chairman, is it
Take what you
okay?
need, Kevin.
Okay, there is a grant that's coming out, that the state of Minnesota has applied for. It's called the Rural Health Transformation Fund Grant. And so we have applied for that. The state of Minnesota has applied for that through the Office of EMS when it comes to EMS funding. Not a concern, but the thing to keep in mind with it is that it doesn't do anything for existing programs. It's an innovation type grant for like telemedicine in the ambulance and community paramedics and those types of things. So while it's certainly beneficial, it doesn't, that money wouldn't go to any existing EMS programs.
Thank you.
Any further questions? If not, motion would be in order approving the proposed contract.
Make that motion.
We have a motion on the floor to set effect by Commissioner LaVisca. Is there support?
Support.
And that motion is supported by Commissioner Sample. Any further comments, questions? Not, we'll call it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried. Resolutions approved, contracts approved, and Hope you guys don't get too busy this afternoon, just based on the weather.
Right, it sounds like, yeah, definitely by tonight we'll have snow.
That's what it sounded like.
All right, thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Thank
You
you.
bet, thanks a lot, Kevin. Nuclear power.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, previously the commissioners have discussed and given a direction that they wanted to consider an ordinance that would support repeal of Minnesota's nuclear power moratorium. You have before you a resolution that does support that. The change would require action by the legislature, and the Aitkin County legislators have supported that in the past. And so Sherburne County is spearheading the effort among counties this year to get support for the repeal with the hope that at the legislative session in 2026, there would be action. And this is in the Association of Minnesota Counties legislative agenda
Platform.
as well, platform, yes.
Commissioners?
Yeah, Mr. Chair. I think that, the way we sit right now, nuclear power is our most sustainable, reliable, and cleanest energy source that we have. And I think that this moratorium is just, it's not responsible for our energy needs. We're gonna end up in a California situation where we have rolling blackouts because we can't support our grid. So we need to get rid of this moratorium, in my opinion.
Is that a motion?
Yeah, I make the motion to accept that.
I'll second.
In brevity form. Motion to set effect, Commissioner LaVisca,
Second, yep,
supported
you bet.
Commissioner Westerlin. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion's carried.
Mr. Chair, members of the board,
Money.
Yes, the next item is the agreement that formally accepts the state grant of $2 million of bonding money. The agreement has been reviewed by the county attorney. It's similar to previous ones you've seen. If you recall, a few years ago, there was an ATV grant, and so that would have a similar document attached, which has, I understand, recently been reviewed.
Tried to review it.
So, in some ways, it is the last step before we can actually start to draw down the $2 million of state funds. And it does commit the county to using the building for its intended public purpose for its useful life of 30 years.
Super. I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Motion on the floor by Commissioner Westerlin, support.
I'll support.
That motion is supported by Commissioner Carney. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried. Anything else you want to report on, David? Updates or anything?
We have like 7 minutes till our public hearing.
Is, should we take a break?
We can, or we can just call John up and we'll wait for the public hearing or the public input till 10 o'clock, but if you want to fast forward on to B and C. David, you've got everything off your chest?
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
Off your chair.
thank you.
Welcome, John.
Thank you, good morning. So on.
We are on
to
item B. On
Item
6B.
B, yes. So we opened bids recently on the first of our 2026 highway construction contracts. Opened bids on October 27th. The project was for 2 bridge replacements on County Road 2, one over the Snake River, one over an unnamed stream less than a mile from it. Because those 2 bridges are in such close proximity, we're constructing them under the same contract at the same time, just trying to minimize the overall impact to the public with that route being detoured during construction. So we opened bids, got 3 bidders. As you can see from the abstract of bids, the low bidder was SNR Reinforcing, who is based right here out of Aitkin. SNR has built the bridges for us each of the past 2 construction seasons, so this will be a 3rd consecutive year that they're building bridges for us. You can see the cost was significantly over the cost estimate. And I take responsibility for that. The cost estimate was from the consultant that designed the bridge plans. Typically, I don't review their cost estimates because typically they're up to date and they're pretty accurate. Had I reviewed it, I would have seen that they were estimating unit prices lower than what we paid this year, so obviously too low. The bid price actually is, you know, as I ran through a cost estimate that would have been reasonable, it's right on to that cost estimate. So would recommend award by the resolution to SNR reinforcing.
Commissioners,
I'll make that motion.
motion on the floor approving the request by Commissioner Carney.
Support.
Motion supported by Commissioner LaVisca. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried, and the contract is awarded.
Thank you. Then on to item C. So this item kind of came at us via Environmental Services Office. They're working with a landowner down on County Road 38 on the east side of Mille Lacs Lake. That landowner is trying to get a trailer home pulled in here before winter. What they realized through the permitting process for that structure was that back in the mid-70s, the highway department acquired a site triangle for the township road. This parcel is right on the intersection of a dead-end township road. It's a very small parcel, just a couple acres in size. So that site triangle takes up a lot of their usable property. We were surprised when it was brought to our attention that we even had it, because we haven't acquired site triangles for years, even on major highways, much less dead-end township roads. So it really is unnecessary. It's an unnecessary easement that we have, and it's creating a hardship for them. So we have been working with them, and we said we would be willing to vacate that triangular site triangle highway easement as long as they will give us an easement for a 60-foot right-of-way from the road center line, and that's our typical standard, and that's really all we need through there. So this is just the resolution that allows us to vacate that triangle. Your resolution did not have the legal description. At the time I submitted the agenda item last week, we were still working on the legal description, so this is the revised with the legal description of what we will be proposing to vacate.
Commissioners, any questions?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chair.
Motion on the floor by Commissioner Sample approving the revised with the revised details, and the motion supported by Commissioner LaVisca. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion's carried, and vacation is awarded. I know this is minuscule. Does that now go on the tax rolls?
Well, it was just a highway easement. So
It was only an
It
easement.
always was on the tax rolls.
Oh, okay.
How the assessors valued it because of that easement, I guess I haven't checked into.
Again, minuscule.
Yeah, I would guess it's probably anything that's significant.
Pardon?
38 cents.
Yeah, wouldn't pay for the postage. would it?
98% increase.
Yeah, it adds up. We got a couple of minutes. John, are you getting any calls, complaints on beaver destruction on ditches lately? Are you getting any more?
Never stops.
So the short answer to that is yes, that is a continual complaint. Pretty much from the time the snow melts in the spring until the time it freezes up in the winter, that is pretty much a continual complaint. We've got 3 trappers that work for us pretty much, as needed, but, they're working more of those months than not. So yeah, it's a continual problem. I just, today is our 2-week cycle of approving bills, for the countywide organization. There were 2 vouchers in there where we paid trappers to to remove beaver. So, yeah, generally, we get a lot of complaints.
Have you gotten any calls on the Cedar Brook Bridge?
Right at the mouth of the Mississippi.
Pretty much so.
I don't know that we've gotten any calls, but we realize that there is a huge blockage there that's never been there before.
Never,
That is
ever.
That is a new, that's a completely new one.
Yeah,
It's
I've
it's a
never,
very
ever seen
significant one. They've got a lot of water backed up, so, yeah, we're working with the landowner there. We actually don't have any access to it, but we are working with the landowner there to try to trap the beaver
Yeah, they're
out.
hitting both sides of the bridge, or the culvert. I don't know if we're gonna have to place a bounty on them, or,
Well, the thing is, you used to have a lot of trappers, cause you could get something out of their pelts, and I don't think you get anything
they're
anymore.
not worth it.
No.
When we hire trappers to trap them, you know, we pay per beaver, we pay mileage, we pay, you know, labor costs for pulling out dams, just things that aren't directly related to the trap sets. And it averages between $75 and $100 per beaver that we pay to get rid of them. And I would guess that in an average year, we spend probably $20,000 to $25,000 doing that, just on the road system and on county ditches.
Yeah, it's definitely a problem. Well, I see 10 o'clock up there. Let's revert back to item 6A, and that would be the public input meeting. With that, I'll just turn it over to Mr. Welly.
Yes, so Mr. Veenker, I assume you're here for this? Okay.
Do we have
So-
anyone online, and are we being broadcast?
We are being broadcast, and there is no one online.
Okay,
So April, could you put up the map? You know, I went over this in detail a couple, well, I believe it was 2 meetings ago. So I'll just kind of talk from this map for a little bit to just kind of summarize what we talked about last meeting. This map is the same map that's on our county website, that the public advertisement that was published in the Age for 2 weeks referred the public to. So I'll just talk from this. You'll see on that map, there's 13 segments that are numbered. I put them all on the same map this time. During our last discussion, they were on separate maps. But everything's on the same map this time. So of the 13, I have to break them up a little bit. So 1 through 7, the numbers 1 through 7 all involve swapping county road routes for county state aid highway routes. There's 3 county road routes that are proposed to become county state aid highways, and 4 county roads that are proposed to become state aid highways, and 3 county state aid highways that are proposed to become county roads. The main reason for this package of 7 swaps, there's mainly 2 segments in here that are driving all 7 of these. As I explained at the last meeting, the one is that through the Kimberly area, we are going to be completing that route, that unimproved route through the Kimberly area. So in a couple of years, we will have a continuous paved route from County Road 4 up to Trunk Highway 210. That's a distance of about 8 miles. Currently, the south 3 miles of that is County Road 53. The north 5 miles is County Road 5, County State Aid Highway 5. So we just want to, once that improvement is done, we want that improved route all to be signed as County State Aid Highway 5. So that means County Road 53 will become County State Aid Highway 5. County State Aid Highway 5 as it meanders west to Rossburg and eventually out to Trunk Highway 47, that route will become a county road route. So that's one of the 2 roads that's driving this, this swap involving 7 segments. The other one is County Road 51 down on the north side of Mille Lacs Lake. And that's currently a 4.8 mile segment of county road. It's going to be, it's nearing the top of our priority list for making major improvements to that road. Right now, it's a gravel surfaced road, so when, in a year or 2, when we update our 5-year road improvement plan and we have money available to undertake that project, that is gonna be the next project that we work on to, make a gravel surfaced road into a paved highway. The problem is that doing that as a county road, it's a $6 million project, and we levy $740,000 this year for county road construction, so you do that math, you can see how long it would take to pay for that improvement, if we dedicated all of our funds to it, which we can't, because we've also got 130 other miles of county roads that need improvements during that time period. So the most feasible way to accomplish that improvement is to make it a county stated highway. That will give us access to the roughly, $4.5 million of state aid construction funds we get every year. Will just allow us to get that project completed much sooner and at less of a tax burden to our Aitkin County taxpayers. So those are the two segments that are driving this set of 7 swaps. The set of 7 is needed to equalize mileage. If I just did those 2, we would be proposing to add mileage, and that's just something that if we were to propose that, it would be a much lengthier, much more involved process. And even at the end of that process, we likely wouldn't be granted the additional mileage. So, the goal was just to come up with an even swap, which greatly simplifies the process on our end and basically just allows us to redesignate routes and change numbers. And that should be, pretty much the entire process can be done by county board resolution rather than invoking a state aid or a state process if we were to propose to add state aid miles. So those are, those are segments 1 through 7. I talked about County Road 51. I talked about County Road 5. The other 3 segments that are now county roads that would become county state aid highways are numbered 2. They're on the map. County Road 81 would become a county state aid highway. Numbered 4 on the map, County Road 75 would become a county state aid highway. And then the other segment of county state aid highway that would become a county road is numbered 7 on the map. County state aid highway 26 would become a county road. So that's basically the package of swaps to accomplish those 2 main segments that we want to change the designation on. And I should note here too that number 8, if these swaps happen, we also want to just change the county state aid highway number of the route that's designated 8. We're not changing the designation, it's still a county state aid highway. We just want to change the number there for route continuity.
Before we call for public comment, commissioners, even though this is a reiteratory of the previous meeting.
Yeah, just to, I guess, dumb it down for myself, basically what we're doing is we're taking roads that would cost more to maintain and putting them on the state aid program, and things that cost less to maintain, putting them on our program.
In the
So
case of
we're
County Road
saving-
51,
right,
yes.
Yep, so we're saving tax dollars in our roads doing this.
Correct.
I have a question, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Westerland.
So John, what part does the state have in this, since just other than funding? And are we allowed to do this without their input, or have they had input?
I have been in contact with them, and yes, as long as
Okay.
we are not proposing a net increase of mileage, we are free to just swap by county board resolution.
Okay, that's great to know. Thank you.
Commissioners,
So,
I don't believe there is anybody,
Tom, want to speak?
but we will call for any public input or comment on this.
Come on up, Tom.
Tom, come on up. Welcome.
I don't know if this is the right time to do it, but I'm curious between the difference County Road 51 and what we call the Glory Road, traffic-wise. I think years ago, the state did a traffic study when they were redoing Highway 18. And I'm curious what the traffic count difference is from what we call Glory Road and County Road 51. Do you remember getting counts?
yeah, Mr. Chair, Glory Road is a township road. So I don't believe unless the township takes it on their own to get a traffic count on that road isn't counted on every 4-year cycle like county roads are. So County Road 51, we do have a traffic count on that road. I don't know what the traffic count is on the Glory Road. I would assume that it's probably similar or less than County Road 51.
Well, I think it gets more traffic than County Road 51. And like I said, I think when the state did Highway 18, they did do a traffic count on that Glory Road too. We'd like to have the county take over the Melmo Road, or that Church Road, the Glory Road.
Well, and I should have mentioned in the presentation that all of these, with the exception of number 13, which is a private road that we're, just keeping the door open to possibly making a county-maintained public road. The rest of the 12 segments that are on this list, they're all maintained by Aitkin County right now, either as unorganized township roads, as county roads, or as county stated highways. So we maintain all of them. This doesn't involve any taking over other township roads. It doesn't involve, changing the jurisdiction. That would be a much more difficult process, I guess, because we would be talking to the townships if that were to happen. So this is all just internal, kind of, helping us to manage the roads that we now have to maintain, as efficiently and as effectively as possible. So we didn't open up the scope to, the townships that want the county to take over their roads. If we did, I'm guessing, there would probably be 15 townships sitting here that would be asking us to take over their roads, but that just was not the scope of this. County Road 51 has always been a county road. There's never been any discussion that I've been part of in, since 1999 to swap, County Road 51 or the Glory Road. So this is, I guess, is kind of the first time I'm hearing that the township would like to consider that, consider that swap, but I guess, it's just not, it's not something we've considered. It's not something I can't speak for the board because they're ultimately the ones that would decide, but I'm not sure that it's something that we would recommend. The Glory Road is, it's, how can I say it? It would cost more money to improve the Glory Road than it would County Road 51, likely.
Really? Because we did spend some money on Glory Road a few years ago, and I think it's in decent shape. It's comparable to County Road 51, in my opinion. And I'm just curious about which road is actually getting a heavier traffic. Is it 51 or is it the Glory Road?
Yeah, and I don't have the answer to that.
Like I said, I think the state did do a traffic count back then.
And again, I guess the intent of this public hearing is a little extrinsic, but, and just, April, for the record, Mr. Tom Venker.
Yes. I'm the chairman of the Wellswood Town Board. We live right on the north side of Lake Mille Lacs, right along Highway 18. But just from the standpoint of the township, I guess, we would like to have that considered, again, if the traffic warrants it.
And again, that is something that is a
State would
potential
have to-
future agenda item based on Mr. Rowley and your discussions and talks.
So John, are you saying we should do a traffic count, have somebody do a traffic count? Would that have any credence or not?
Well, I guess I don't know. I mean, Tom, you're hitting me with this cold. I mean, honestly, I mean,
No, I
I've
understand.
been to Wellswood Township board meetings probably 2 or 3 times in the last few years, and this has never been brought up. So, this is brand new to me.
No, I understand. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Tom.
You bet.
Commissioner Westerland?
I just have a comment, and it's for Tom too. So, as much as I drive on the Glory Road over by the ranch, in my opinion, I think the Glory Road is in really good shape right now, and it has been for a couple years. However, 51 is, I don't take 51 hardly at all, because it's just so, especially in the winter, it's wet, the plowing, I mean, it's just a disaster. So once that road gets fixed, guess which road the people are gonna use? They're gonna be on 51. So I don't know why we would swap. You know, if we could get money from the state and the county to fix 51 the way it should be, I mean, it's in rough shape. It's been in rough shape for a while. You know, frost freezes and all, I mean, it's just I get so many complaints on County Road 51. So I just wanna, you know, let's see how it works out with, you know, it's probably gonna take a few years, but yeah.
We've had first call for public input, second call for any further public input. Third and last call for any public input relative to this matter. Hearing none, the public input session is hereby closed. John, anything else that you have for the board?
I didn't, I wasn't able to go through the last 5 segments on the list, but if there's no public comment, perhaps it's not necessary.
I would agree.
Okay.
Commissioners,
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chair.
I don't think we need a motion.
Okay.
concur.
We concur, I mean,
Yeah, just a consensus
So I will bring this back at a future board meeting for further action by the board.
for formal action. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, John. Snowplows all geared up?
Absolutely.
I'm sure they are.
Just in
still
time
not
for
getting
Thanksgiving. No, it'll
Thank
be a
you.
while.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Thanks.
they scaled it down the last I heard for a year for now. On to county assessor, pictometry, Mike Dangers. Welcome, Mike.
Morning, Mike.
Yeah, this item today is, it's aerial photography that the county has, had done in the past. You know, the last time this was done is back in December of 2022. And this particular, project was paid for using Recorder's Technology Fund dollars. And, we've reached the point now where with that contract, we have an option to do another flight here in 2026. But that fund does not have a level to support that.
Mike, which fund,
expenditure.
which of the two funds was it?
It's the technology fund that
Okay.
paid for this one. But there's also the compliance fund, which is a separate,
Yeah.
separate thing. So, so my purpose here today is just to ask the board to affirm that there's no funds available for the 26 pictometry flight. I mean, we could have a discussion maybe in a year or two of doing this again and looking at funding at that time, so.
Commissioners, you've heard the request. Is there a motion?
I would make the motion to affirm there are no funds available.
Motion on the floor to set effect by Commissioner LaVisca. Support.
Support.
Motion is supported by Commissioner Westerland. Any further discussion? Were the fruits of the labor okay with the first round here?
Yes, yeah, this is, I mean, it's been very helpful for our department as well as other departments that I've spoken to, but, you know, we've had discussions, amongst the department heads, you know, about, the need for having it this often, and there's some question as to why that would be needed every 3 years, so,
Yep.
but it is useful.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign, motion's carried.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
On to Land Commissioner Dennis Thompson. Welcome, DJ.
Yeah, good morning.
DJ?
Running early today. I'm glad I came up a little early. So I had just more of a formality. The contractors that were involved with this obviously know that the bids were rejected, but this was for construction of the Mille Lacs ATV Trail, the segment from Malmo over to Highway 18. So it went out for bid. It was available. It was available for bid for 3 weeks. There was a pre-bid meeting that we had, I think, roughly 11 or 12 different contractors that showed up for it. We ended up with 4 bids that we received. Those bids were opened up here on October 21st. I was present, and then Jeremy from Woodseth was present as well. So we opened up the bids. The engineer estimate was roughly 1.1 million on it. We had felt that was might be a little bit strong even. However, when the bids came in, the lowest bid was from D&D at 2.32 million. And then our other bids came in at 2.4, 2.54, and 2.89. So at this point, just looking for a motion to officially reject all 4 of those bids for the construction
Good move.
of the ATV trail.
I'll make that motion.
Motion on the floor to set effect by Commissioner Westerland
Sad.
and support.
Support.
Commissioner Samples supports that motion. Any further discussion?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, just. a
Commissioner
couple
LaVisca?
questions. So when we went after, when this money was asked to be allocated by the state to the county for this project, who initially was going after these funds?
The original contract was signed by Ross Wagner,
Okay,
Economic Development Forest Industry Coordinator.
okay, and was there a plan in place before these funds were received, before we went for them? That, you know what I mean, was the project planned? Did we have a
Yeah,
start?
yep. There was, to some extent, you know, there were certainly drawings and had looked at possible routes and what areas made sense and stuff like that. But I don't know if there was any type of engineering studies or any contact with engineers or anything prior to seeking the funding.
Okay, so typically before trying to go for funding for a project like this, we would have a little bit more of a plan in place, correct?
I would.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Commissioner Carney?
Yeah, just for clarification, DG, correct me if I'm wrong, this project started how many years ago?
The bonding dollars came from 2018 legislation.
And we're at 2025.
Yep, and
So-
then we were required to meet a 10% match,
Right.
which the county was unable to meet that match until 2020. So actually, we did not do anything with this, or could not do anything with this until that match was met.
Right, and it's been a 5-year process. I
Correct.
know before I even came on this
Yep.
board. And so prices have increased.
absolutely.
From this
Yep.
initial thing, so, okay, thank you, just for clarification.
Mr. Chair, just to kind of, to piggyback off that, you know, not having any plans in place, you know, not having the match, like, generally before you go after this bonding, you're gonna have a match in place too, correct?
I would.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Westerland?
So, you know, why, I don't know, understand why the state would make us have to have that match. Why wouldn't they just give the person the money so they could put it in a bank and collect interest on it? Or
yeah.
something to help with the process?
That's how a lot of those funds work. A lot of
I
them
know.
require the match to be had, or require the match prior to the project being started.
Right.
And a lot of them are on a reimbursement basis, where and this one is similar to that, where you spend the money and then you submit paperwork to get, excuse me, to get reimbursed for it.
But, you know, the state should know that the counties are more stable with their funding and their money. You know,
Yep.
they don't have to just grab it out of the air.
Yeah. So we are back to the drawing board, looking at some of the items that were significantly more than engineer estimates. Some of the clearing and the grubbing work, granular borrow material, as well as building the boardwalks or the puncheons. So we're looking at options and what exactly the bonding language will let us do with other types of bidding. Just because we know that we have local contractors that can do parts of this project that might be able to be a little bit more competitive.
So if we could split up the bidding, if the grant will work that way, if the grant will allow us to do some of the work and recoup, there's a lot we gotta look at, but
Yep.
these bids clearly aren't gonna do it, cause we don't
Correct.
even have the funding for these bids.
We don't have the funding for the match.
Right.
Well, we have the match now, I think.
Is there any further discussion? We'll call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried. Thank you.
That's all I had.
Happy Thanksgiving.
That's enough.
You folks as well, yes.
We're running a little ahead. Would the commissioners like to take a little short break?
Take a 5.
Cool.
Take a 5. Okay.
Yeah, did you like this? Is that insane? This is exactly what I was talking about to fixed incomers.
What's that?
My father-in-law's property tax, 98% increase.
Yeah, I can't even show you mine.
Some of them up in St. Louis County, up by Babbitt, Ely,
Yeah.
increased 140%.
Thanks, April. We will reconvene, call the meeting back to order, and continue with item 9, County Auditor Kathleen Ryan. Welcome, Kathleen.
Okay, my first couple items on the agenda today are related to the budget. These two items are usually discussion points, so we just wanted to get their approval before we move forward with truth and taxation. Just makes the final setting of the budget a little bit easier at the end of the time. So the first one is the 2026 appropriation amounts. I've included that resolution to be adopted. Those amounts listed on this resolution are ones that are recommended by the Budget Committee. I think the last time this came forward to you, the biggest change is with the appropriation to CARE. That was lowered per discussion with the Budget Committee to $55,000. One other piece in that discussion is in between setting preliminary levy and moving forward, we did get notification that we had a 20% increase with our PEEP insurance. So adjustments were made within the general fund budget to kind of offset that large increase in order to keep our levy set at the 5.24. So this is the appropriations that are coming forward as recommended by the Budget Committee, and I don't know if the members of the Budget Committee want to speak any more on that.
I think you covered it pretty well. With the 20% increase coming in on PEEP, we just needed to make some adjustments, and that's what we've done.
I'm in agreement with Commissioner LaVisca.
Can I ask a question here, Mr. Chair?
Absolutely.
Underneath appropriations, we got 68,849 county allocation, 7,700 for LCWP, 5,000 for an AG inspector. What are they?
So that is all part of, we kind of line itemed those out for the soil and water appropriation. Those are the three pieces that go into the 81,549 appropriation to soil and water. Okay. It's the county allocation, the county appropriation to soil and water, that's the 68,000. The 7,700, oh my gosh,
Is that the water grant?
yes. And then the, we support the egg inspector with $5,000 appropriation to them.
Okay.
And for SWCD, there was a revision when they moved into the government center. What they were paying for rent was deducted from the allocation.
Yep.
Yeah, and then it was also reduced, historically, Concon had been contributing to soil and water, and that was, zeroed out now.
Phased out.
Yep.
Commissioners,
Chair, I would just have a question. So where does the AIS fit in soil and water, or doesn't it? Or is that just separate?
That's
AIS
separate,
is
that's a
separate.
grant that is received, so it's like a pass-through grant from the county. So we receive the AIS grant, and then we just pass it through to soil and water. We do have an agreement with soil and water, so that $40,000 of that AIS grant goes to our sheriff's department. And that agreement is in place until 2027. At which, at that time, we'll have to relook at it, and AIS was reduced by 50%, so I'm sure there's gonna be discussions with soil
in
and water.
2027.
So the sheriff
Yeah.
will be deducted 50% too, probably.
I'm most likely, I'm not sure, but I'm sure there'll be those
And
discussions.
an add-in note, SWCD is taking, I believe, about 33,000 out of AIS for administration.
What?
Commissioner Sample? AIS is taking about 33,000 of the SWCD for administering the AIS program.
Okay, now I have to wrap my head around this. It's a state grant,
To Aiken
AIS,
County,
to Aiken County, and who is doing the,
and the funding, or the fiduciary. The funding is pretty much managed by SWCD. So we get once a year, 2 checks, about 135,000 roughly.
And that's gonna be going down.
Yeah,
So
in a
we-
year.
We don't do anything to manage that grant. We just pass it through our accounting system because we're
Minus
the fiscal agent
40,000.
for it. So they're managing it.
However, isn't the DNR in charge of that?
No,
No. Who's your chairperson or your person in charge for the meetings? Who does the meetings?
it's Brian Roulette,
And where's he work?
SWCD.
Okay. I thought that was a DNR. They just train people for the boat thing. maybe.
Yeah, certified
whatever they do.
decontamination people.
Okay.
Since we're on this, Commissioner Sample, you serve on that committee as well.
I think we need to relook at, I really feel that as this state funding's being cut to these things, we ought to look at how much money we're giving them to manage the program, how much they're taking out of that grant. I think that's something we ought to look at, Mr. Chair, because
Yes.
I don't think we've had but maybe 2 good meetings in the last 4.
Yeah. And this, I'll have an update on committee updates specifically for AIS a little bit later. On to the matter at hand,
Okay. I just have
and your
one more.
questions are very germane.
Yep, I just have another, I would like to talk about CARE. The appropriation is 55,000. I know that the budget committee decided that they should just put their stamp on, let's just cut the full amount and go to 55. However, some things have arose at CARE lately. AEOA, JET, all of a sudden just picked up and left. I was very disappointed in those entities that did not leave a few items possibly for CARE, but no, they basically raped the building. So CARE has all of their office furniture and all of their space. However, this is a place of business. And we've been working with AEOA and JET for a long time, so we have so many new programs and things going on. We need some help, and I'm hoping that the board has a little compassion for the people that we serve are going to be affected by this if we don't get help from the county. Back to the 78 apportionment would really help. We haven't talked to the building owners yet. We are good till December 31st, but after December 31st, I'm not really sure where or how CARE is gonna get along or what's gonna happen. I don't know if you'd like to hear from the CARE board, they are here.
Yeah, as a point of clarification, and Kathleen, correct me if I'm wrong, the 55,000 is not a reduction.
Correct. 55,000 is
Status quo with what was appropriated,
in 2025.
yes.
Which was up.
It was up
Before.
to 7,
It
I
went from
shouldn't say that.
35 or
We
40 to
requested
55.
more,
The request was for 75, I believe.
yes, or whatever.
And the
it was
budget
for.
committee, and I think by virtue of adoption of the preliminary budget, the board as a whole set it at 55,000, which is the same as it was last fiscal year.
Well, I think we should reconsider.
Now, a point of clarification on that, if I might, Chair.
Yeah,
When we, as the board, set the preliminary.
That was at
wasn't-
75, I
that was
believe.
at
It was.
It was at the requested amount.
And the budget
The
committee
Budget committee decided
Yes.
to reduce this,
Reallocate, right?
reallocate the funding.
reallocate.
Okay, so that we have that there. So I have a couple questions.
You got the floor.
Okay, do
Microphone.
we still, I'm sorry, do we still have any furniture through Health and Human Services? All that stuff gone? Desks,
At the care
chairs,
office, or-
yeah, not at the care office, at Health and Human Services.
it's all gone.
Did all that stuff get taken, it's gone?
Most of it got sold unless it's at the temporary location, which most of the desks and stuff were not moved. But we do have some chairs and things like that, but a lot was sold. a majority.
Yeah. Okay, it was just an idea that Commissioner Sample and I were looking at, anywhere that we could provide some assistance. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Again, the question at hand is the adoption of the 2026 appropriations as proposed, as recommended by the Budget Committee.
Okay, I want to play the devil's advocate if I might, Chair. If you reallocated that funding as Commissioner Westland is requesting, what's the impact?
I
If you
clarify.
take that
levy.
55 and put it back to the original amount that we've set the levy at, the
Sure.
preliminary levy.
So that reallocation offset the increase in insurance, so it allows us to keep our levy in, which we have, we can't
We have to
increase
keep it.
our
We cannot
levy.
increase it.
So it reduces the amount of fund balance that we're going to have to use in order to offset that
We have to
increase.
take it out of the fund balance.
Yes.
To make that increase.
And how much is in the fund balance?
Mr. Chair?
I'm just saying.
David?
I don't have that answer, but if Kathy needs a minute, it could come out of fund balance, or it could be a reduction in another part of the budget,
True,
right?
yes.
I'm not advocating for that, but
I
I
understand.
A
just,
quid pro quo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't have the fund balance in front of me, but it was just in the, consent agenda, the cash balance update.
Yep.
And again, in the fund balance, there's appropriated, there's dedicated funds, capital improvement, blah, blah, blah,
Right.
versus non-allocated. Big difference.
Mr. Chair, I think it's a slippery
Commissioner,
slope to start using fund balance for appropriations when we've decided that we're gonna use that for capital improvements, one-time spending rather than ongoing spending, because that's not what fund balance, you can't sustain ongoing spending when you have one-time money. So I wouldn't wanna look at it that way. I also really don't like creating the narrative that we don't care about people with how we're out appropriating money here. I know a lot of small businesses in the area that could probably do pretty good with $55,000 bump of an appropriation. I wanna, Amy, you're doing amazing things at CARE. And you've really stepped up from where it even was. But like I said, where we're at with the budget, I think this is just where we're at.
And we also, Mr. Chair, with Health and Human Services remodel, right now, they're coming in right at. They get a bump or a hiccup, that could be an easy increase.
And again, the question at hand is the adoption of the proposed 2026 appropriations as outlined.
As a member of the Budget Committee, I would move to approve as shown.
Motion on the floor to set effect by Commissioner LaVisca. Support. Do we have?
Support.
Okay, that motion is seconded and supported by Commissioner Sample. On to discussion. Floor is open to the commissioners for discussion.
So Kathy, I'm looking at looking at the cash balance sheet, that was on the agenda, or the consent agenda.
So the bottom of that sheet gives you the details as far as where our fund balance is set.
Okay.
So that based on, the top part is our actual cash position, right? But we have a lot of things that are committed or reserved, and so not all of those funds are available to use. So the bottom of the sheet is what gives us our our fund balance to use and
So
where
there
we wanna be.
Any funds that we could use for that? Or whatever it is? $20,000?
Well, you could take it out of fund balance. I mean, that's
It would be
your
fund
prerogative.
balance.
Okay.
Is that the wise thing to do or not? That's the question.
Yeah, and Dave did ask me a little bit ago, and just to be clear, when we passed the preliminary budget, it was, I'm gonna say balance per se, we had planned use because we used recorder tech funds for some, planned purchases, and that is fund balance. Those are specific purchases, so that was planned use of fund balance in the preliminary budget, forgive me. And we did have some other, we budgeted foster care at a lower amount in hopes that it comes through, right? I mean, we did some of those adjustments within the preliminary budget to keep the levy down, knowing that, you know, if we needed to, that the fund balance would cover. So I think, yes, the budget was balanced with minus, you know, that one planned use from the comp funds and the tech funds from the recorder's office. But I think there was some reductions in other budgeted expenditures that we made with the, knowing that we did have fund balance to kind of back those up if we have to.
Yeah, Mr. Chair. So our budget, again, this next year, the proposed budget is currently balanced. And I would like to reiterate again that over the last 3 years, we've operated under balanced budgets for the first time in about 20. So I think operating under as balanced a budget as we can, even though this balanced budget is extremely tight this year and we're making a lot of changes, hoping that we come in where we need to, knowing that we have the backup should we need it.
And Mr. Chair. However, not all of us sit on the budget committee and not all of us agreed to take that money out. It was put in there at one time. And then all of a sudden, things change once you take it out without a full decision of the board.
Well, this is the full decision.
Well,
This is only a
so if the money-
recommendation
if the money
of
is
the
put
budget
back-
committee. The ultimate decision is still lies within the full board.
However, you know, you've got, the money was there and now it's not. And that's what everybody's agreeing on. Well, not everybody, but I'm just saying that's a difficult pill for me to swallow sometimes. That's kind of why I got off the budget committee. It's like, okay, we can't make these changes without the full board. We should have like a discussion about, you know, a committee of the whole board on this. And I think we did have one about it, but I'm
Well,
just
Again, this is
saying
only a
that.
recommendation.
It's only a recommendation, however, people have made their minds up already and they've already taken it out of there, so what chance is there that as being a member of this board, we could help this one entity one time? We could do a one-time thing, it would really help us get off our, get the rent we need, get the stuff that we need for this committee, because I'll tell you what, once the stuff hits the fan for Health and Human Services for the next 2 years, with all the stuff, all the cuts, all the new stuff, all the money that's gonna be spent there, CARE would sure like to be a part of helping others out. These are our elderly folks, our disabled folks, our vets. They do so much, and I just hate to see this go underwater, because you know what? That could happen. That could happen in 3 months. So, anyway, y'all have heard my spiel,
Chair,
I
if I
guess.
Commissioner Carney?
The only thing that I'm struggling, I'm a supporter of care, and everybody knows that the elder is one of my main priorities in the county. I sat on the AUA board, there's so many unknowns right now with what's going on with the care building, are they gonna be able to rent it? At what cost are they gonna be able to rent it? How much money is needed? We don't know any of those answers yet. And I don't know if this is the right forum to have her come up and speak and give us some information of the plans and the process, so we can make an educated decision.
I guess in answer to that, in my humble opinion, if it pertains to changing the motion on the floor, adopting the proposed budget, if it pertains to entertaining a change, an increase, then it would be appropriate.
Then I request that the director step up and give us the information of what we're looking at, so we can make an educated decision. Please, Amy.
And is the board comfortable with that?
Yes.
Okay, Amy, if you want to, you have the floor. Amy Wyant, Director of Aitkin County Care. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Yes, I'm happy to share the facts of the reality of where we're sitting today. And it's multifaceted, actually. And any support that our Board of Commissioners can give this 501c3 nonprofit is greatly appreciated as we serve every resident that's aging well in Aitkin County. The first piece of information that I'm not sure that you're aware of is that one of our funding streams comes from the Older Americans Act, Title III, B, D, and E. And I have received recently the appropriation for 2026 from the Arrowhead Area Agency on Aging. And our Title III-E, as an egg funding, has been reduced from $76,944 down to $27,000 for 2026.
What
Now-
was it last year?
Pardon me?
How much was it last year?
Last year was $76,944. The previous year in 2024 was $36,703. Now, these are federal funds through the Older Americans Act that comes through the Minnesota Board of Aging to the regional 4As and then down to CARE.
Right.
And it's a competitive grant process that other entities in Northeast Minnesota apply for. And with R3E, the programs that this will affect in 2026 in Aitkin County are as follows. They are the funding for the National Family Caregiver Support Program Services, the Caregiver Counseling Services, the Caregiver In-Home Respite Services, our assisted transportation, which we have been working over a year to build a commercial fleet, which I will talk about shortly, our caregiver homemaking and chore services. And at the end of the day, money is tight everywhere. And so this is just one piece of our funding stream that has been reduced by $49,994. And when we look at our data from January to the end of October here in 2025, we have offered 4,697 hours of in-home professional caregiving services to our neighbors and friends that live in Aitkin County. These services include the cleaning to keep the house clean, meal preparation, standby assist, medication reminder, and a home assessment to assess if there's any risks of falls for our elders that live in Aitkin County. This 3E funding also covers our respite. So people that are caregiving have to full-time for a loved one so they can remain in their home for as long as possible. And we have provided 1,384 hours of respite care. This funding from the Older Americans Act helps us pay our professional caregivers. We're a 501c3 that employs 17 people in Aitkin County. We have 19 active volunteers that help us fulfill our mission. Those volunteers have already delivered 1,969 hot meals to people at their door where they're living in their homes. Regarding money, we do have a 245D Department of Human Services license. This distinguishes us from any other entity that services Aitkin County residents. So what that means is that we have clients that are on waivers. And just today, I pulled the reimbursement fund that came from Minnesota Medicaid. And I'm just going to pull out 3 of our current clients that are living in their homes that are on CADI waivers. CADI stands for Community Access for Disability Waiver. Not one of the reimbursements that we filed reimbursed us at a 100% rate. So on these, just the 3 clients of the 12 clients, $40.12 just we put as a cost allocation. This adds up every single month when you're paying employees and training employees to go out and be professional caregivers. Our biggest cost adjustment are for our veteran clients. We lose on average $1,094.20 a month because the VA does not reimburse us for our cares for veterans in their own homes each month. So right now, as I stand here, I can tell you with 100% data that CARE has absorbed $12,036.20 in unreimbursed costs to provide our services. I will say, and they like to be quiet about this, but I took the case of the VA reimbursements to our local American Legion leadership. They in turn recommended that I present to our DAV Chapter 11, which I did. I just showed them the data. They took this to the state level board. I got a check last week from our local DAV Chapter 11 for $3,000 to help us try to offset our current $12,000 deficit for servicing veterans that live in Aitkin County. I'm in the process of applying for the matching fund to the state foundation of the DIVs for another $3,000. But even if that comes through, it's still on the books, a $6,000 basically cost adjustment. We've made a decision as the leadership team, and one of my full-time program directors is here, Kim Nutting, that we will continue to service our veterans despite the lack of 100% reimbursements from veterans, because it's what we believe in and it's the right thing to do. And both of us have veterans in our family. So I'm looking at my financial picture. I'm doing cost allocations for my disability waivers. I'm doing cost allocations for my veterans. I'm looking at a $49,000 reduction in my Title III funding from the Older's American Act. I'm looking at a mandatory Minnesota state law paid leave increase for all of our employees, which CARE is going to be contributing 0.12% of the medical leave and 0.10% of the family leave. In addition to that, we are working so hard to build a commercial transportation system in Aitkin County. We are the first nonprofit in Northeast Minnesota to do such a task. And if I could have given that grant money back after 2 months into this, I would have. It has been the biggest headache to build a non-emergency medical transportation commercial fleet, and then to go through the process of getting the one-way transportation and the mileage reimbursement on our Department of Human Services license. And then it took 3 times before we were able to successfully complete the contract process with Blue Cross Blue Shield. But we didn't give up, and I'm happy to say that we have 2 contracts right now with Blue Cross, Common Carrier and Special Transportation Services. And one of the reasons that entities like us, like a 501c3 nonprofits and other entities don't go into the commercial business is because of the commercial insurance cost that we are required to carry by the Minnesota Department of Transportation. And so as we are trying to build our revenue streams in with transportation, our van, ADA compliant van, costs us $8,937 in commercial insurance annually. And our 2 Ford fleets, $13,531. And we're now just starting to see the wheels turning and people getting transportation that they need, either through Blue Ride or through transportation authorizations coming from our partners at Aitkin County Home and Community-Based Services, or through private pay clients. Our building, yes, this was mentioned. We've worked so hard to establish a home base in Aitkin for people with our toenail clinic as part of it. We've completed 226 private toenail clinic appointments for elders in our community. The space is ideal because of the parking, and it's level, and our older adults need that routine of our location. Currently, we pay $1,153 in rent to AEOA, It is true, AEOA is giving up the lease to that building. The cost for our entity or any entity to manage the Birch Street Center is $5,527.96. And to your point, Lori, there's no professional conference room furniture, no professional technology, no furniture in the reception or the lobby area or any amenities. So whomever manages the Birch Street Center is going to have to figure out that challenge. In closing, at the end of the day, we are continuing to work for our outreach in all of Aitkin County. We have established new partnerships with Angels, and we had our first Alzheimer's caregiver support group that met in Angels in October with my program director, Ann Guile, as the facilitator. That's the second Wednesdays at 10 a.m. at Angels. And also with Angels, we partner with Riverwood Healthcare Center to give out the 60 Aitkin Farm Fresh food boxes for people, no questions asked. The next one is December 9th, by the way, at noon at Angels. Care will be there alongside. And so, kind of a challenging time to happen to be the executive director of this organization financially. What I do know is that other counties, we know this, you just got a call from a neighboring county, wish that there was a nonprofit. I didn't start this nonprofit. The people before me were wise enough to start this nonprofit for Aitkin County. I just happen to be the person here that is leading the train, so to speak. What I know is that we have the largest percentage of older adults age 65 in the whole state of Minnesota. And times are tough, and we want to stay here, and I need to find the money somewhere. But I've given you some facts with federal funding, with the cost allocations from health insurances, and in trying to build a private, safe commercial fleet for transportation. So we're doing the best we can, and I thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Amy, and Commissioner Carney.
Yep, I
has
have a
a
couple
report.
questions. I appreciate the report and the update. But I want to know where you're going from here. With that building, are you looking at elsewhere to rent? Or what's your plan? I mean, you're sitting on a lease that's currently held by another entity that has since moved out, but their lease isn't up till the end of the year. So you're locked in, you're okay till December, but after that, what are you gonna do? I mean, you obviously don't have the funding source to afford $5,500 a month. I mean, are you looking at different locations? What, okay. Can
Sure,
you-
I can absolutely fill you in on that.
Yeah,
We have a meeting tomorrow morning with the family member of the owner of the building to hopefully finalize and discuss a lease agreement and sign it that will allow for a lower cost of rent to the building owner to allow us time in 2026 to recruit tenants to sublease from us.
Just a point of clarification, if I may.
Yes,
I know who the owner is. Who is the current lease administrator?
AEOA is managing and in charge of the building until December 31st at midnight.
Okay, thank you.
Ideally, we want to stay at the Birch Street Center. We have now use of the garage for 2 of our 3 vehicles. We want to remodel our toenail clinic. But tomorrow morning is, I have to make a final decision by 1 p.m. And the reason for this is couple. 2, we run the identical fingerprinting service. We are a location. Brainerd closed theirs, and they need a 30-day notice if we are no longer going to be able to host the fingerprinting equipment. I have inquiries to a few office spaces that have come to my attention, but are not at all for sure deals in the city of Aitkin. What I do know for sure is that starting January, we will be at the Palisade City Hall 1 day a week. And that's one physical location that I know we have for sure.
Right.
Other options that I have to consider is the fact that we're not going to be able to come to a financial agreement on the Birch Street Center. I know that the utilities cost around $1,800 a month, and as I shared with you currently, we're carrying $1,100 in rent a month. So my thought process is I'm hoping that the family will be open to care, saying we will pay for the utilities through 2026, give us time to recruit subleasers so that we can make that building financially sustainable so that we can pay what the rent will be to the building owner. If that doesn't happen tomorrow, then Aitkin County Care will have to move and we will have to work remotely, which is absolutely unideal. We will have to find a safe and space for our elders where we can conduct toenail clinic, because we are booked out to February right now with people that need toenail care. Yes, I have looked at several spaces. None of them are working yet for the toenail care in terms of parking and privacy and amenities, because we need the access to the water. So the sand is shifting between us right now, and
Okay, I appreciate your comment. Thank you.
you are most welcome.
Thank you.
I would like to say I did not know that the building was going to, the current building manager, AEOA, was going to be leaving until the very last week in September.
Right.
I'm a planner, so that was like, oh my, there's 3 months here. And right now, we are the last organization that is remaining in that building. I have 8 empty offices. If we get to be the managers, starting January 1st, we have 8 empty offices that we need to recruit people to sublease from us.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thanks, Amy.
Just a point of clarification to Kathleen, again, germane to the appropriations, the bottom line levy. Are we currently at with the preliminary, or are we on board for a 5.24%?
We are currently at 5.24%.
Okay,
Then we have no wiggle room.
we cannot go up from that.
We cannot go up from there, no.
Is there, we do have a motion on the floor. Is there any further discussion? Is there further discussion? Last call, further discussion? If not, I'll call the question and poll the board on a roll call vote. We'll go right to left, beginning with Commissioner LaVisca.
Aye.
Commissioner Westerland,
No, I would like the original care apportionment.
Commissioner Carney,
I'm gonna be a no also. I would like to see the apportionment go up, but I don't know how we're gonna do it.
and Commissioner Sample.
I, am in the aye.
And I'll also support the motion. The motion prevails on a 3-2 vote. So the 2026 appropriations as presented, recommended by the Budget Committee, has been approved. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I understand.
And, had that been, where would we make the reduction? Because we can't change the preliminary level. So we're gonna have to cut somewhere, had that happen. On to item B, Commissioner salary rate.
Correct. So at our last meeting, I believe it was when we set the preliminary levy, also I had asked the question, Originally, the commissioner salaries were budgeted at 6% because that is what is in the contracts going forward for 2026 for the staff. It was discussed, so I did reduce that in the budget to 3% per the last board meeting. So this resolution that I am asking for adoption is to adopt the commissioner salaries, the 2026 amount to be the dollar amount of $38,693.03, and that reflects a 3% increase on commissioner salaries.
Commissioners, you've heard the recommendation. Is there a motion?
So moved, Chair.
Motion to set effect by Commissioner Carney, support.
Support.
A motion supported by Commissioner Leviska. Any further comments, questions, or discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
No.
Okay, motion carries in a 4-1 vote. Minutes will reflect that Commissioner Sample was the nay vote.
My third item is not related to budget. It is related to the
What?
liquor license that, unfortunately, I was gone at the last board meeting. And I believe there was a 2-2 vote on this approval of the off-sale liquor license at the Malmo, market. So I'm just bringing this forward to, now that we have, everyone is here. So I just wanted to bring it forward to the commissioners again, to make a decision, I guess, on this, so we can proceed forward and work with the owner.
And as noted on the agenda request, the recommended action motion is to adopt the proposed resolution.
Correct.
I'll call for a motion.
I make the motion.
Motion to set effect by Commissioner Leviska, support.
Support.
That motion is supported by Commissioner Sample. Discussion?
Yeah, Mr. Chair. After a lot of discussion and thought, obviously, we've seen this now the third time. I can't tell a business that they can't legally operate, so.
Further discussion?
Well, I still have my same stance. I believe that sometimes you have to look at the safety measures. We know that intersection is busy. There's been accidents, numerous accidents at this location. It will increase traffic. We know that it will. So I'm still a no.
Okay, we'll call the question on a roll call.
I concur with Mike.
Roll call? We'll go from west to east this time.
Sorry.
I'm a no.
Commissioner Sample?
Yes.
Commissioner Carney?
LaVisca. I'm a no.
Commissioner Westerland?
What about you?
I go last.
I'm a no.
Commissioner Leviska?
Aye.
I'll support the motion. The motion carries in a 3-2 vote.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it for me. You guys have a great afternoon and happy
You-
Thanksgiving.
Thank
You too.
Kathleen.
On to economic development, Mark Jeffers. Welcome, Mark.
Does it really matter?
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. For the next 3 hours, I'm going to take you through, not yet. I'm going to take you through a number of different highlights from economic development. Yeah, I can grab that. Oh, thank you. First up, the first item is an economic development update for the last quarter. So going through some of the information and getting right to it. You know, one of the first subjects is housing. Obviously, that's a priority inside our strategic plan for the county and the strategic plan for economic development. A couple of highlights that we're showing, and I mentioned the Bunker Hills Apartments. You guys are all aware of that. That lower picture was taken about a week and a half ago. There's been progress since then, but you can see that apartment complex is going up in a quick hurry.
We said they better hurry up.
Yeah,
gonna
they
get
need it by
snowed
this
on.
afternoon.
Get it covered
They
today.
do have plans, if everything goes right, and again with weather, that they would be closed in by the end of the year and be able to work on the inside throughout the winter, but we'll see how that all goes. One of the things that we did hear from this apartment complex and the success is the Bunker Hill Senior Complex. They are moving up that construction time. They've had a number of different inquiries about, hey, can I move into the workforce and then go into the 55 plus? So that has prompted them to move up into there. So those are in motion, those are going. We are working on a few other ones that are of note. There's McGregor Developments where there's two individual housing developments that I think we are very, very close to being able to move forward. I think all the pieces are getting into place from the private ownership to the city of McGregor to get those done. Skipping ahead to number 6, for our housing trust fund, just to say, we have $236,000 in our housing trust fund as we speak. And I believe we are established to be able to help them through incentives and through housing revolving loans.
Mr. Chair.
And I think
Commissioner
we're at that
Westerlund?
point to be able to help that. Yes,
Does that
ma'am.
work for leasing? Sorry.
Unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. And just getting back to the McGregor development, so you're seeing, obviously, there's some business opportunities that could be coming 26, 27 into that Tamarack area, so we're focusing that housing out there as well. One other note, a multifamily need that you will see in McGregor as well. There's an apartment complex opportunity that's happening out there. And the same developer that is here in Aitkin is interested in talking about expansion out into the McGregor area. So we're pretty happy with what's going on there. It's never enough, it's never fast enough, but there are a lot of different things happening. 6 current development opportunities, 2 remain in Aitkin, 1 in Hill City, and 3 in that McGregor area with that multifamily. One of the things that I will be bringing up in item number 2 is the Minnesota Housing City Participation Program, where it offers first-time homeowners incentives and first-time homeowners assistance. We have been part of that program for the last 2 years. I will be requesting us to be part of that program for another year. And if you take a look at just some of those numbers that it's showing there, the one all the way to the right, 118,000 has been provided to first-time homeowners in Aitkin County for either down payment assistance or some type of homeowner incentive. So the program costs us nothing other than advertisement for the program, and it looks like it's very successful. So we will probably like to continue that as well. So that's our housing.
Mark, along that line,
Yeah.
I know there's a meeting tomorrow, and there's roughly about 236,000 in the housing fund. What is the amount of the requests that are being proposed tomorrow to the committee?
One is 75,000 and one is 21,000,
Okay.
roughly, and some cents.
And one last and final question. On both the Bunker Hill, is there a sole developer or is it a partnership?
It is a sole developer
Okay.
that's developing that. Growth Innovations are part ownership. They did not sell them the land completely. They're working in partnership on the land, if that's what you mean, but the
Yes.
developer is a single developer.
Because I noticed that on the agenda for tomorrow.
Yeah, yep, correct.
Okay.
Perfect. Talk about childcare a little bit. I suppose I should click my own button. Thanks. Very clicky. There. So childcare, a couple of highlights and a couple of real concerns as we move forward still. Aitkin County now has 3 childcare centers that are operating. We've talked about those before. The first one here in Aitkin, 1 in Tamarack, and 1 up in McGregor. One of the things that we've talked about for a long time is the need for private partnership with childcare and the businesses. And I wanted to highlight Talon Metals in Tamarack has offered and is offering a 50% payment of the costs of childcare.
Wow.
If their employees bring their children to the Learning Center there in Tamarack. So it's one of those, together they can make that happen. And for me, when I was younger and had the children in childcare, 50% of the payment going,
That's a
that's a pretty big
no-brainer.
deal, pretty big, good benefit to have happen. So hopefully they'll be successful with that and have that continue. And then, there's the good news. Now let's put the clouds on it. The at-home childcare providers in Aitkin County have dropped to 11, according to the experts in the field, in 2025. A number of different reasons. 2 retired, 2 closed for health, moved out of the county, 3 just closed for other reasons, and then 1 obviously upgraded to the center. So I did some quick economic development math, right? If you think 14 for an at-home and 49 for a childcare center, just rough childcare slots. With the work that was done on the childcare centers, we have 14 less slots than we did 2.5 years ago. So there is still a critical need. I see Brenda in the room today. It's good to see Brenda. She's our expert in childcare licensing. There's still critical need, and we need to make sure that we understand that that is still a workforce and economic development issue, as the staff, if they can't find places for their children to go, are not going to enter the workforce as readily. So that's our childcare message. Let's see if I can click it. Yeah. And a couple of notes that I just wanted to give on some business retention, some expansion. One of our items in the strategic plan is to grow businesses, net businesses at a 10% rate. And you can see on the bottom right, businesses have remained very steady in Aitkin County over the last 3 or 4 years. There's about 420 businesses in the county. Some have closed over time, more are coming in. But I think you can see from 21 into 25, it's going in the right direction. It's never enough in the economic development world. We'd love to see more businesses. And not just more businesses grow in our area, but more businesses remain open in our area and take care of the ones that are here as well. So we'll continue to measure that. We'll continue to monitor that, but you can see that it's pretty steady, which is okay news. The top left is Aitkin County population, and we pulled this number through the census and different Explore Minnesota numbers that you can see. And over the past 4 years, our population for Aitkin County has increased 3%. So moving in the right direction. You remember from what we talked about with COVID and the at-home and the work from home and the different things like that, it's given us a good benefit.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Commissioner LaVisca?
So along those lines of a steady population increase, we're still seeing, I don't know if you don't know it off the top of your head, but if you could probably find it, is our median age going down with that population increase? It's not.
Not at this point. We're still, and we claim to fame, the
So-
oldest. Aitkin County is the oldest.
We're number 1.
Residents were number 1 on that, not just
In all
by
aspects,
AI.
right?
I think it dropped like 0.2, but nothing measurable
So Mark,
at this
isn't the
point.
census, is it next year?
What's that?
The census.
Be 2030.
2030?
Why was I thinking
I don't know.
2030.
some kind of census going
Hey,
on?
Mark,
Yes, sir.
talking to our businesses, Commissioner Kearney's brought up a good point. FMLA. What's that gonna do to small businesses? Is that gonna hurt us out here? Bad?
It is. It's been a huge concern. Just the whole program in itself, if someone is off for that amount of time, those small businesses don't have,
Can't absorb it.
they don't have a bench strength to be able to fill those positions. So they're gonna remain empty, on the spot, or they're gonna have to fill them with other people, which is an additional cost. So, yeah, there's big concern out there with the small businesses for sure. Any other questions? I can keep moving. You guys are right on time. Good job. Okay, we should change the battery on this thing. Thank you. So the next slide that you're looking at, some recreation and tourism numbers pulled directly from the Explore Minnesota, working with the Minnesota DNR, if you can believe that, to give us some recreation and tourism numbers out there. This separates where our increases have come from over the past 4 or 5 years, increases or decreases. If you take a look at the middle, I wanted to point out the recreation. Recreation has increased 13% in Aitkin County for 2024. we're doing a lot around, as you know, the river trails. We're doing a lot of marketing around the ATV trails. We're hoping that's a direct result. This number is coming as a direct result from that. Overall, 3.8% increase, and you know, because everything is a competition. If you're wondering, I do have some neighboring counties on where they are with their percent increase or decrease. I can share that with you at a different time, but I think everything that we've got is rolling well. There is some opportunities for different things that are happening. Again, with lodging, if we can continue to create additional lodging, I think we're finding out that the bed and breakfasts and the, you know, VRBOs and things like that are working, though they're very difficult at times from public opinion to make them work. Once they get in and are established, they seem to be working as well, so. Any questions on any of this information as we go forward? And then, don't read all of this. This is just some of the outreach that has taken place in economic development in the last quarter. I want to highlight a couple so you can see where our time is being spent. In October, we went out with the IRRR and visited with Angie's Acres and Palisade City Meats, had a great meeting with all of them to understand what that future looks like. His expansion, again, you've heard me mention it before, is incredible. He's got more news that's about to break on some things. So that's a great thing for our county. It's a unique thing to have that farm to table, you know, providing for local. That whole message makes us unique. We did host an AMC Lunch and Learn, so I got to teach commissioners a couple of things, which that's fun. APT Business Breakfast we had, which I think a couple of you attended that business breakfast at APT. A lot of members that were there from IRRR and some different things, and I filled in the Economic Development Committee on some of the business growth that APT is planning here for the future. Taking the Leadership on Purpose leadership training class with Commissioner Carney is also a member of that. And then in November, we had a tour with IRRR in the city of Aitkin, so they could see a number of different projects that they've helped support. Ida Rukavina was down here with her staff, taking a look at the water tower, the you know, thing in Aitkin, the community center in Aitkin, Palisade City Meats, different places like that. And we also showed them some of the housing and things that we're doing without their support, so they can see that, you know, in Aitkin County, we're trying to move the ball forward regardless of whether we have that financial support from everyone or not. So that was a good meeting for us. And then to use a quote from one of our famous commissioners, where do we go from here? This is where we're heading and what the focus points for economic development will be over the next couple of months. We've got to complete the tax abatement update for that senior housing, which that's simply date changes, so that won't be hard at all. We did that on the consent agenda last time, so we'll get that done. I want to utilize the Housing Trust Fund dollars. There's $236,000 that we have to offer good builders in our area as incentives to spark some growth. I think we've got good opportunity to use it, and I want to get that done here in the next few months. Some more support those McGregor projects moving forward. I think, like I said, we're on the verge. We're going to build some houses in McGregor. We're going to execute the revitalization program that was already approved, which is a grant program that we're using to update the front of businesses, do some, you know, clean up some things like that on the fronts of businesses, signage, different things like that. The 2026 BDR grant is preliminary approved in the budget. I know you guys like those words. Focus on family childcare opportunities. That kind of, you know, it's like an ebb and flow. It kind of slid down here for economic development, and now that's at that, and has been at that critical stage, it's something that I've got to concentrate on more. And then I'll be doing a couple of workshops at the AMC conferences, one of them on revitalization and our revitalization initiative, which I'm excited you're gonna hear some great things from Health and Human Services and their group on what they've done with the revitalization initiative. I'm pretty happy to see that, and I'm excited for you to see that information coming up. But if you're at the AMC conference, stop by and heckle me if you'd like to.
Front row.
Front row, I appreciate that.
Commissioners, any questions? On to MHFA.
I like it. Second item is the approval of the Minnesota City Participation Program. Again, this is a housing incentive for first-time homeowners and first-time home buyer incentives for them. We, the Minnesota Housing Finance Agency, has supplied $118,000 for Aitkin County residents in 2025. We want to continue that again for next year. The program is here. My ask is that you allow us to participate in the program and allow county administrator as the signature. The county attorney has reviewed the contract and has no issue, so.
Commissioners, you have heard the recommendation. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion. Oh, sorry.
Motion on the floor by Commissioner Westerlin to approve.
I'll support.
And that motion supported by Commissioner Carney. Discussion? Commissioner?
Mr. Chair, are we involving HRA with any of this stuff or no? For the housing, Minnesota housing? No. I'm just asking.
At this point, we're doing ours in-house, our housing trust fund.
Okay.
We are attending an HRA workshop here in January.
Okay.
That I think myself, I believe Sarah's going to be, I think
Okay.
2 commissioners that are on that HRA world are going to
Awesome.
attend that, so,
Good to hear. Thank you.
yes.
Commissioners, any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried. Thank you. Yes, Counselor.
He's gonna approach the bench.
I'll pass that around, that's those numbers.
I think Jim Ratz actually did that one.
Yeah.
He was here.
All right, last item for me. As in the strategic plan, one of the goals in the strategic plan is to report on the strategic plan. So here we are doing that today for the quarter. If we look at the numbers, and instead of giving you that big file with all those goals and having you reach that, I wanted to give you some highlights of what's been done so far. Our annual goals, so we have 20 annual goals in our strategic plan. Goals to be completed by December 2025. We also had 9 goals that we're gonna do in 1 year, get them done and move on. So between those two, if you're doing the math, that adds up to 29 individual goals that we're working on for 2025. We have completed 100%, 22 of those. So 76%, is that number? 76%. There's 7 goals yet to be completed. 6 of them are year-end numbers, like here is how much money we saved from revitalization, or, you know, that value, 10% growth on housing developments, tax base increase of a certain percentage. So we won't know that obviously till the end of the year. And then one of those is something that, you know, you guys are working on. I believe you even had conversations earlier about the EMS and all of that. So that's ongoing, that's working through. For 2026, instead of 9 annual, we'll have 6 of the one-time goals. And then again, obviously, the 20 annual goals. So we'll measure those 26 for that. And then in 27, our goals, we have 1 that's gonna be done in that time frame, and then the 20 annual goals, so we'll continue to measure those as we go. But I think overall, my opinion, just my humble opinion, I think this has been adopted by many of our departments as something that's important and something that is driving them, I wanna say, in a unified strategy, which is good. Yeah, I think that's all good. You're never gonna have 100% of the departments. Some of them don't have a lot that they can do to improve those different kinds of things. Some of them are perfect already, so they're not involved as much as what we think, but that's just the way that works. If you go to the next, and it worked, strategic plan highlights, showing you a couple of the highlights that are out there. Oh, actually, this is just the list that I just said of the 7 that aren't out there yet. So we'll make sure that those get done. But a couple of the highlights, most importantly, so you can see what's happening. The optimizing the land use ordinances, I think, Andrew was in earlier and he's got a shoreland ordinance that's, we opened back up and we're looking at how to improve if there's areas of improvement. I think those things take a long, long time, which sounds government-y, but it is the way that it is. But I think they're making great progress on doing that. I think it has set a standard or a kind of reporting structure that they're gonna be looking at those along those lines all the time, which I believe is good. We did actually get the ATV trail study done, the economic impact study. As you guys all know, you've seen that. Showcasing our county value. I had to give a plug for the podcast, so you guys will all listen and do those. But I think they are making a difference. We have gone from not just telling what our county employees and departments do. We've moved into more of a local voices series too, that is highlighting some of the different area businesses, which I think is huge for us to be able to do. Some of the different leaders of our operations. So if you don't know where that is, I can send you an email, get on the link, sign up. You're on TV right now, so get on that one. And then from our talent acquisition area, I think it's huge to show, showcasing the Aitkin County advantage, completion of recruiting videos by December. And it was, I want you to keep in mind, by December 2026, and because our human resource director is such top notch, she's got it done in 2025. I don't think we've released them in public yet, but I do believe that you guys have seen them, and I'm excited for her to be able to share those with the groups. I know that the different departments have seen them that you've worked with, so a lot of progress there and a lot of good information that is going to attract some people when they have to do career fairs or when we have a shortage of police staff or deputy staff.
Just compliments to Bobby, having reviewed a couple of those, extremely impressed.
Thank you. The videographer we hired was a local gal, and she did an excellent job on putting that data together and putting it into a beautiful video form.
And I have to believe that will definitely enhance her recruitment of,
Yeah, that's gonna help.
great job, Bobby.
And a couple more on there, completing a GE workout, which is the revitalization stuff on the onboarding process. They work through that. They've got good solutions for that. I know that you've had that group together and working on that, so it's a good highlight. And then launching the career coaching pilot in 2025 as we move that forward. Just I shouldn't say another way to interact department head, supervisor with staff and making sure that we're talking about long-term careers and what's important to everyone. So that's the strategic plan stuff. Revitalization, just a brief thing on that because the stars of the show are all out here. They're gonna show you something that really, I know that you guys had asked me to participate in the revitalization and I did it because I believe in it. What you're gonna see from what they've done, that's the true meaning of why we did it. It's the true meaning of why we have the revitalization initiative, why we're doing what we're doing so we can all collaborate easier, better, and in the end, be more efficient. That's the way that stuff's supposed to go. So we continue our revitalization initiatives every other week. We have meetings, we talk about stuff. There's a couple of members of the revitalization core team sitting in the room too, and then the members of the HHS revitalization team to show off their work. So with that, unless you have questions.
Good, commissioners?
I'll see you in a quarter.
Good review. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, sir.
Great job.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
On to Health and Human Services. Welcome,
You want me here? Where am I going?
Wherever you want to go.
wherever you want.
Okay, I'll just go right here. So I'm Sarah Johnson. I am a child protection social worker over at Aitkin Health and Human Services. When Bill Brendel came and worked with us, he, kind of pointed out to us, not kind of, he pointed out that he could feel the psychological safety was not something that the employees were feeling over there. And so we had done a survey back in 2024 to just kind of see where people were with that. And, oh, sorry, I'll grab it.
Needs a battery.
It does need batteries.
Nope.
I'll click for you.
Thanks. So that is why we acted. We were finding that we needed to do the survey to see where people were. So with that, we found that 36% of the employees were not feeling that they were able to admit if they made a mistake without retribution. We found that there was difficulty adapting in workload swings. There was limited transparency in decision-making and inconsistent collaboration. There was hesitation in when we were testing assumptions, or if we felt like there was something tough that we needed to bring up, like people were not comfortable bringing that to their supervisors. There was conflicts that the staff felt weren't being addressed proactively, and employees were uncertain if their input was being valued. So what we did was we had all of HHS do the Clifton Strength Finders. The core Rev team did that and found that, kind of really looking at people's strengths were, once they were out there, people then kind of took them and were like, oh yeah, I do have this. This is something that I'm able to do. And so we completed the Strength Finder on all of the employees. And then from there, we did that psychological safety survey. From that, we found that the survey was the main things that we needed to work on, and we found that, and then we developed 4 core teams. They are employee-driven teams to look for solutions to try to increase the psychological safety in HHS. And so, oh, go ahead. Sorry. Again. So these are some of our minions. These are actually from one of our Halloween parties that we had a few years ago. But so we created then 4 different teams. These teams then they all looked at the specifics from the psychological safety test survey, and so we had the care convening team, the adaptables, the audible playmakers, and the clarity portal. So then we're gonna go through each of the groups so you guys can hear about them. So.
Here come the minions.
Good morning.
Good morning, Brenda.
So I am speaking on behalf of the adaptables, and really what this group was about was we had struggled a long time with when we were short-staffed. We were struggling. How do we fill in? How do we make things work? How do we lessen the stress with employees? Because that really leads to burnout. So that really was the core of the adaptables, and really matching strengths with career ambitions. So employees were working to improve a flexible workload and workplace that utilizes individual strengths to support employee growth. And some of the things that we have been working on, we are working with staff who are interested in doing GE workouts internally at Aitkin County Health and Human Services. And I believe that training for people who are interested will happen in 2026. We're working with the care convening team to discuss employee satisfaction and how we can support one another. We did a list of experts as we work towards the remote work with the remodel, which was a stressful time. People were really struggling with a lot being thrown at us. And so we did a lot of expert champions of who can fill in if somebody has a question while we're remote. Who can we call? Who can we lean on? We brainstormed around processes of what could be maybe outsourced, mandated versus non-mandated. So each department kind of looked at that to see what they could work around and what could be gotten rid of. We've talked about cross-training some staff, which this is a hard area, and we are still kind of trying to work towards that. We are a very specialized agency. We all do very specialized services, so we're finding it a little difficult of what that would look like to train people to fill in different departments. But we're not giving up on it.
Nope.
And just working around change fatigue. We had a lot of change going into the remodel, learning new systems, me being older. That was a struggle, getting to learn new things. And I'm very happy with some of the things that we've done. I'm very proud of the revitalization. I've been here a very long time, and I've seen a great change in our agency, and can say that I'm very proud to work at Aitkin County Health and Human Services.
Awesome.
Cool.
It's all worth it.
Nikki?
Hi,
Welcome.
Commissioners. I'm Nikki Laird. I was working on the care convening team. What's that?
Hi.
Good job.
I was facilitating the group Audible Playmakers. Interesting. I am not a real big sports person, but I understand an audible is a football term for being able to go out on the field, conditions change, and you have the flexibility to roll with it and do what you need to do. Audible Playmakers, who we are. Our group assembled to prototype, test, and improve a decision-making playbook, the purpose of which was to have a standard and transparent decision-making process that would include the roles, authority, criteria, and prioritization methods when facing resource trade-offs. So one of the big things about Audible Playmakers, it is employee-driven. So we have the confidence and trust in our decision makers that we had a part in making the process. We're a group of employees, so this should improve the transparency and inclusion for the process. We have confidence that there is appreciation in having employee voice in what we're doing. What we are working on. The Audible Playmakers identified decision types, including subject matter, roles, authority levels, criteria, prioritization methods, and avenues for employee input. So we found that decision-making is a very complicated process. So we developed a bullet point with addendums, and I think there were like 4 major decision types. We rolled this out at our last full staff meeting and gave the tools to everyone. So what we developed was called an imperfect playbook. And the thought is we developed our playbook, but it's a journey to continue developing it, tweaking it, and improving it. We asked for input on the process and collecting feedback on its usability, effectiveness, and clarity. We'll continue to refine and improve our playbook, ensuring that it meets our needs and effectively guides our decision-making process.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, thank you.
No, don't take those.
Ooh, I'm
So
grabbing
they're
your stuff.
mine, yeah.
Welcome again, Nikki.
Hey, it's me again. This feels familiar. So I'm Nikki Laird, and I worked with the care convening team. And the purpose of our team is to develop confidence within the workplace, to maintain camaraderie and unification of the staff. We want people to feel comfortable speaking to their peers, to their supervisors, to other management, and we want them to be honest. So our growth mindset, embracing humanity, imperfections, and mistakes of ourselves and others with deep care and in service to collective learning and development. Healthy expectations, setting healthy growth expectations over unrealistic punitive expectations set by people or organizations. So it's really important to be communicative and honest. You know, what can we do? What can we not do? And then the self-care, we're really promoting the self-care to combat that change fatigue, the stresses of our unique jobs. So the employees who join the team will prototype, test, and improve all staff covenants. So we were doing every other month gatherings, and you can go to the next slide if you'd like. We want to cultivate critical social support and inspire collective growth in critical areas linked to psychological safety, well-being, effective leadership, and talent retention. So some of the things that we were doing, we'll send out a monthly mix. So we send out an email and different people within the team every month, someone will volunteer to do it. We put together the email and it has a mindful message to inspire or to encourage. And then we also have reminders of resources that are available. Our EAP program is wonderful. I think it was easy to forget about for people, and bringing that to the forefront and things like that. Before the remodel, we were trying to come up with ways to get all of the staff together and intermingle with all of the staff in HHS and not be siloed in our own departments. So we did a pizza party once a month. We did a themed potluck. So we tried to do a Cinco de Mayo, but we already had some, I think it was a pizza party that was going on. So we did 4 de Junio instead, so the 4th of June. And then we had just the theme of, you know, a Mexican theme and doing things like that. So to keep it fun and engaged. We also have been trying to come up with ways to engage the staff while we're remote. And some of the things that we have done is let's have lunch together. So we would set a time and it was a Zoom and it was open over that half-hour period from 12 to 12:30. And you could bring your lunch and then you sit down, join the Zoom, and we could just engage with other individuals within the county. So I think that it's a really important program, and I think we're doing really good. And I'm really thankful for the revitalization project and that it was an opportunity that we had here.
Great job. Thanks, Nikki.
All right, and then I am on the Clarity Portal team. And so our mission was to strive to create a transparent communication tool to be used for questions, discuss, build understanding, promote harmony, growth, and confidence at HHS without retribution. Be your own advocate, allow yourself to be heard, and amplify your voice. So with that, we created a platform called the Clarity Portal. We're really good on our words here. So anyways, but so we did that, and for a space for people to be able to put out questions if they're wondering, like after an all staff, if they didn't feel comfortable during the meeting to be like, hey, what did this mean? For them to be in it, because it was sounding like people weren't comfortable going to their supervisors to ask these questions. And so we were looking for a way for people to be able to get their questions out there without going around and doing this water cooler talk, and then all of a sudden it's snowballing into this great big huge assumption of what the email meant or how the tone came across during the meeting or whatever. But so on this portal we have got 5 questions or spaces where people are able to go on. So brainstorming. So, do people have an idea for something different to happen? So with that, we've had 1 entry. So we started this in May of 2025, the Clarity Portal. And so 1 entry on that part of it, for the brainstorming. I want to say it was questioning, trying to utilize IT for something. Clarity Portal. So if you don't understand something, this is a spot where you're able to go on here and be like, hey, can you explain this again for me? Or I'm not understanding why you're doing this. With that, we've had 3 people put different entries on there. The Solution Hub. And so this is where we want people to come to us if they have an idea of something to be different or a change within HHS, that they're coming to us with how don't just say this isn't working. How is this what can we do to fix this? The Celebration Station, we want people to be able to celebrate the good things that are happening at HHS. We all do super hard jobs. So for be able to be like, yay, this happened, it's pretty cool. So we've had 2 different people do that. And then the Peer Podium. And so this is where we're able to elevate each other. We've had 3 people put an entry on that. And so after about, not quite 6 months, we're like, hey, we're not getting as much as what we thought we were going to get out of this. We thought it was going to be a spot where people were like, I don't know. We have Sarah Pratt monitoring it, and she was like, I don't know that I'm going to have time for this, you guys, because we thought things were going to be coming in like crazy. And so it's great that it hasn't been a spot for people just to go on there and type out all their things or whatever. But we were wondering why is it not working, or why are we not getting more input? And so in October, we reached out, and to the staff and did another survey. Unfortunately, we only had 27 people respond to the survey. And what we were looking for is why is this not working? When we talked about it in our group, we were trying to figure out, is it because it's on Teams and it's kind of tough to find? Is it, are people just forgetting about it? Do you not have any questions anymore? And are things feeling better? And so, answers that we got, so out of the 27, 40% of the people said that everything's working and they didn't have any questions and concerns. 56% of them said that they're comfortable discussing their questions or concerns with their direct supervisor. 7% said that they felt that the site was difficult to manage. 40% of them said that they actually forgot that the portal was there, and so they haven't used it. And then there was 4 other people who had other reasons. One of them being that they didn't even know that there was a portal, and so my guess was that was a newer staff person that we need to do a better job about making sure that they're aware about that. And then the other 3 people, theirs were kind of some of the same answers that we already had. They just had worded them differently. So that's Clarity Portal. And then, so from those teams, then we did the psychological safety survey again. So a year later, we've had these teams, we did our survey again, and we found out that 4 out of the 5 domains that we were working on had improved significantly, and that we also had improvements with the 5th domain. It just started, the percentage started higher, so it wasn't a significant improvement, but it was still, all of them improved. So maybe we can go to the next one. So here are the domains the 5 domains that we worked on. So the light blue is our pre-survey, so our survey back in 2024, and the dark blue is our survey now. So this is out of the mean scores, so you're able to see here that all have improved. Our supervisor manager behavior one was the one that had, it improved, but not significantly. But so our top improvements Our planning for the future, effective feedback channels, teams seeking new information, clear mission and purpose, and a safer process for testing assumptions. So if you go to the next slide, so here it has laid out our different for each of these. So thinking about sorry, I lost my train of thought. So Aitkin County is spending enough time thinking about the future. We feel, the staff feel like that has improved. We've improved in effective mechanisms in place of employees for feedback and express concerns about the work issues. So we've improved on being able to talk to our supervisors. Team frequency seeks new information that leads us to important changes. So we've had a lot of changes. I know Brenda talked about that too in this last year. I mean, from new phone systems, new mailing system, new buildings to go to. We're working remote. We don't, and so I feel, and this is my feeling, it's not based off of any of this, transparency was huge through this whole move for us. And our management, I feel like, did a very good job on making sure as things were coming at us, we were aware that this was what the change was going to be. I feel like we were able to know what to expect and be able to say, hey, what about this? And that management would take it and look at it and try to figure out that. And so our transparency with the mission is available for us. So when we first started out, I had said that it was 36% of the employees were feeling like they weren't able to admit a mistake. After the survey was completed again, we were at 11.5% of the staff. 11.5% of the staff were unsure if admitting a mistake would result in retribution. So that was a 25% decrease since the first survey. So what this is showing us is that the satisfaction of our employment, employees are more likely to recommend Aitkin County Health and Human Services for a place to work. Performance, employees are performing at a level that matches their true abilities. And the employees feel that they're able to contribute to the changes that are happening at Aitkin Health and Human Services. And retention. So people are planning to stay at Aitkin County is what we're seeing. Sarah asked that so they're also hearing when they're doing interviews from candidates that our candidates are hearing about what we're doing before they're even getting into our building. So that's exciting to hear that our work is being talked about. So what this means is that employees are feeling safer, they have a clear vision, and are more engaged. We have created tools that are innovative and sustainable, and they're employee ran. Leadership has the opportunity to continue this momentum by focusing on their supervisory practices that they need to do, and an employee-led change. Yeah, I brought that up. But while we're doing this in a high-stressed environment. So, any questions? Sorry, I kind of rambled there.
No, good job, Sarah.
Good job. This is awesome to see.
So, yeah.
Sounded like a very successful exercise.
Yeah, because I was part of the initial Rev group, and to go from that and be like, okay, how do we pull in all of these people in our building now? And I would say the majority of the staff they all want to be part. It's just how, and figuring out our strengths, so I sent out emails trying to get people to come do this, and the amount of people who were like, nope, that's not my strength. I'm not doing it. So,
Just how y'all blend together and fit together.
Yeah,
That's
so-
important. That's cool. Good job.
yeah,
Great job. Very invigorating presentation.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah, Nikki, Brenda, John.
Yes, good job. Good work.
Come on up. On to Human Resources, Bobby Danielson. Welcome, Bobby.
Thank you.
Morning, Bobby.
Good afternoon.
Oh, we are into afternoon, dang. Good
Yeah, we
afternoon,
are.
Bobby.
Okay, we're seeking board approval of 2 collective bargaining agreements today. But first, before I jump into that, I want to extend a special thanks to the Teamsters and the LELS union negotiating teams. They came prepared to work collaboratively towards a mutual agreement. Their efficiency and teamwork.
Bobby, let's take
We're gonna take a
couple
break?
minute break. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll save my special thanks for that.
Well, might as well since we're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna be sneaking out of here about 12:30.
I'm gonna
So
have
I'm
to
not
do
gonna be able
it
to be at
when
the
we're
person.
done,
That'll take 5 minutes probably.
Okay, yeah, because I have to be at the food shelf by 1.
Oh, got it.
It's at Palisade.
Okay. And again, switch A and B
Yep.
on the agenda.
We're good.
Are we ready? Okay. Well, good afternoon again. I had started by saying that we're here to request approval of 2 collective bargaining agreements today. And before we do that, I just wanted to say thanks to the Teamsters and LELS unions. They showed up, their teams were prepared and ready to reach a mutual agreement. We reached a settlement in one meeting with the Teamsters and 2 meetings with LELS, which was very impressive. And we're pleased to
Impressive, it's
share.
unheard of.
Yeah, we're pleased to share copies of the tentative agreements with you today. You've got redlined copies in your packets, and both unions have already voted to ratify them and have signed. So we will ask for separate motions, but because many of the changes are similar in both of the agreements that were made, I'll summarize them together just for efficiency. And you can ask questions if there's anything that I don't cover. So the first agreement is the 2026 to 2028 Teamsters Local 346 non-licensed essential unit agreement. There is a redlined copy in your packet, but the highlights, wage settlements, we got the pattern settlement for 1/1/26, which is 6% within range movement, and 1/1/27, which is a 7% within range movement, and for 2028, 5% within range movement. The employer's health insurance contributions increased slightly each of those years. The Minnesota paid leave section was added to both agreements. That includes a 50-50 premium split, and employees can use their supplemental benefits to top off the paid family medical leave payment. That's also consistent with past practice in other units. Any overtime that is earned in the month of December will be paid out as wages instead of accrued as comp time, and then all comp time hours unused at the end of each November will be paid out in December. That's just a slight change from how we had it before, and it captures those wages in the same year. ESST, there's a weather event exception allowed by statute, so we have a MOA added to both agreements. Both the employer and the union agreed not using ESST for weather events would be in the best interest of public safety. So there were multiple other small language changes, but this is a summary of the Teamsters, and I'm looking for a motion to approve the 2026 to 2028 Teamsters non-licensed agreement.
And it's a 3-year.
3-year, yep.
Do you know just what was the overall percent, the cost of the county percent increase?
Well, we do wages at, we don't have a total number. I don't think we've ever done that here. We've got a package showing the wages and the insurance, and I'll mention footwear when we get to the LELS one. But it's not a bottom line percentage. I don't know that we've ever done that.
Well, somewhere
Mark.
along the line it is, but
We
don't need to know that
Yeah,
right
we
now.
could calculate that, but we haven't brought that to the board in the past.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the most significant increase is the piece that's the wages.
Right.
Right.
And that was 6?
Yep, 6, 7, and 5.
So if I may, the 6 and 7 were already established.
Correct.
And then the 5, we dropped down for moving into the 3rd year.
Yep, correct. And
You always go the lowest percent on the highest amount,
so
which you did, thank you.
the, okay, well, do you have any other questions?
No, your request is to ratify the Teamsters?
Motion to approve the agreement, yep, 26
You've heard the
to 28.
recommendation, is there a motion?
Hey, Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Sample?
I got one question quick.
Sure.
Employees can use supplemental benefits to top off the PFML. What is that? What supplemental benefits can they use?
Typically, it would be PTO. If it were a leave eligible for sick time and they had sick time, they could use that to top it off as well. Or comp time, but it's
They're accrued benefits.
accrued compensated absences, so that your PFML benefit is paying, say, 52% of your wages. You could pay that other 48% with your compensated absences.
Okay, with that, I'll move to
Okay, thank you.
make the motion, Mr. Chair.
Motion on the floor ratifying the Teamsters contract by Commissioner Sample. Support?
Support.
Motion supported Commissioner Carney. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried. This board ratifies the Teamsters contract.
Thank you. The next agreement is, the request is to approve the 2026 to 2028 LELS Local Number 523 Licensed Essential Unit Agreement. The changes are similar to those that I summarized with the last unit, and I'll add that we are also increasing their safety footwear allowance from $195 to $200 per calendar year. And that was part of the LELS agreement. So if you have any questions on that, I will be happy to answer them. Otherwise, we're looking for a motion to approve the 2026 to 2028 LELS Licensed Essential Unit Agreement.
Motion would be in order.
So moved, Chair.
Commissioner Carney moves,
A second.
supported Commissioner Westerland. Discussion. Just a quick question. I don't know if there's any other settlements, but if so, how does these settlements compare to other counties so far?
To other counties, we have that data in our binder, but I
Off
don't
the-
have that with me today, Mark. You're asking tough questions of me today. I don't have that with me. I can send it out to you.
I'd just be curious how
Yeah.
we're fitting at some point in time.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried.
Sorry about that.
Ratified.
Mr. Chair, could I just add a comment to recognize the work Bobby did?
Yes.
On getting these agreements, getting us, the rest of the team, to negotiations prepared, and then helping distill kind of the union proposals and understand them. It was a pleasure to work with her for the short time we had to
Yeah,
get the contracts, but it was very positive, and I just wanted to express appreciation for her work.
Thank you. I
Great,
felt
and the
the same way.
commissioners
Thank
too
you.
that were involved.
Mr. Chair, if I was gonna echo the work Bobby did and the work that David did. Like I've said multiple times during the negotiations as the commissioner on there, said my job's to sit down, shut up and listen. And they did all the work and all the talking and it went really well. And I did want to say that both business agents did share appreciation for the willingness and the reasoning for a couple commissioners to be on the team.
Were they new?
We bargained
really.
with Doug Henning last round.
Okay.
And then Jesse Smith was brand new to us
Okay,
with the
okay.
Teamsters.
Yeah.
So,
That's why I don't sit on there.
And they were both a pleasure to work with.
yeah, they were. It was an enjoyable
that's great.
process for everyone, so.
That is,
right.
did we have to engage Christie Hastings at all?
No.
I don't think we did.
And that's another extreme cost savings.
We may have
came
asked a
in here
question early on, but
They came in,
Yeah.
the bargaining units came in knowing that they couldn't ask for the moon, it wasn't gonna happen. So they came in with realistic requests,
It's a great starting
you
point.
know.
Yeah, and we had a
Put down.
yeah.
very solid pattern of settlement for the first 2 years,
Yeah.
which helped.
This is the smoothest I've ever seen it go with the county.
Yep, thank you.
Hats off. If I were wearing a hat, I'd take it.
David and Bobby did amazingly.
Awesome.
All right, thank you.
Job evaluation.
Thank you all. All right, the last item, if I may, is the approving a job reevaluation. We had an accounting technician in our HHS department. That job classification was sent for reevaluation. That position's supervisor took over supervision of the OSS team some time ago, if you remember.
Yep.
And the collections officer duties were transferred then from the supervisor to the accounting technicians. That increases their grade level from a 4 to a 5. And I'm looking for a motion to accept the consultant's recommendation of grade 5 for the accounting tech / now collections officer job class.
Barring any questions?
I'll make a motion.
Motion to set effect, Commissioner Westerland. Support.
Support.
Motion supported, Commissioner Carney. Any discussion? What was the overall cost?
It is $1. They'll get, let's see, I've got that 5% increase to their current salary and
Okay, I just
Yeah.
wondered on the very
it's listed
bottom.
in the second paragraph there. They get a 5% or $1 per hour, whichever's greater. So it's slightly more than $1 per hour for 2 incumbents.
Okay.
So 5,000 or less would be a good estimate.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried.
Okay, thank you,
Very good.
gentlemen, and
Let's
Lisa.
get through committees, and we have to have a personnel committee meeting before 12:30.
I have to leave at 12:30.
So do I.
You can do the personnel committee without me.
Oh, actually, I don't have to leave.
Committee updates, Travis?
Yeah, I'm just trying to go back and figure out what I even had. I'm
Thanks,
sorry.
Bobby.
Happy Thanksgiving.
We had Lakes and Pines. We went over some fundraising things they're gonna do. I'll have more information coming as it gets sorted up, but they're gonna hold a first annual, gala fundraiser for Lakes and Pines. Their fundraising committee is working to try to bring in more fundraising rather than relying on allocations so much, especially with all the questions with the, incoming funding from government, federally mostly. Aitkin County Historical Society continuing work on their roof. It's pretty much the way it's gonna be right now. They said.
Blue roof?
The blue roof for right now. They said they've had people asking if that's the new roof.
Yes, that was the talking
Yeah, so.
of the town.
Nope, that roof is winterized, sealed, and they're getting delivery of the new tiles, I believe, in May. Actually, they're that far out. And it's not a composite like I thought we were initially looking at. It will be clay tile.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it should look really good when it's done. And that's what I had for this week.
Thanks. Lori?
I just had CARE, and you heard all about CARE, and we had, ACA Association of, or Arrowhead Counties Association in Duluth. Let's see, what was John's? Our motto is gonna be protect and defend counties against the legislation in February. We just talked mostly about county roundtable updates, cause there's not much really going on.
Yep.
That's it.
Everybody's
Thank you.
trying to be done for the year already.
Michael?
AEOA was canceled, she briefed ACA, ARDC is just lining up for the next year, they don't know where the funds are gonna be cut or not. Other than that,
Okay, Brett?
Most of my meetings were canceled, and then I was out. I did have meetings with, Bass Pro.
Cool.
One for the range, but I also met with their thing, and I bought down pamphlets. And, we developed a working relationship. We had a gun donated to the range that was authenticated by them that they wanna put in the NRA museum. But we
Ooh.
started talking about, wouldn't it be great if you guys put a warehouse in Aitkin, Minnesota? Since your 7 biggest customers are in the States going all around us. And then I also went down and did a presentation to the Walmart Foundation when I was down there.
Great.
Walmart,
The Walmart Foundation in Bentonville, Arkansas, their headquarters.
cool.
You're quite the ambassador for Aitkin
Did you
County.
get
Thank
anything? Oh, that was a smile. That means yes, okay.
Well, it opened the door.
Next time I wanna go with.
I mean, it really truly opened the door.
Yeah.
One, we had the door open with Bass Pro because we got Heroes Mission matches,
right.
Bass Pro's mission. And my airport was while I was gone, they had moved it up because of the holidays.
Yeah,
And,
that's
that's
pretty
all I
cool.
got, Mark.
Well, great.
Facilities was canceled too.
And you hit the 3 keys of successful salesmanship. Number 1, sell the information. Number 2, sell the meeting. Number 3, sell the client. Great job.
Don't sell anybody out.
Budget, you've heard enough of. Airport, the airport terminal grant is pending. Aitkin County Water Planning Task Force met. Extremely interesting meeting. The majority of it was on the diversion channel. A study that was done, a video. I'm gonna, if it's okay with you guys, I'm gonna invite her to do it to the whole board here come spring.
Yep.
It shows a kayak trip and drone over the channel. I think you'll
Did Soil
like
and
it.
Water do the drone, or who did that? Soil and Water?
No, Soil and SWCD.
Yeah, Soil and Water.
Veronica Lundquist. AIS, you've heard a little bit about. The main discussion is how to divest ourselves of the decontamination units, given the reduction in funding coming up here. Sobriety Court met. There's currently 14 participants, which is pretty good. And there's several graduations pending.
Oh, yeah, and CARE helps them too, get them to their meetings.
That's pretty much it. So, anything else? Not, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Carney moves, Sample supports, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion's carried, meeting's adjourned.
Hey, I would like to thank
food, not
Sentence to Serve for
Thanks, Mike.
the assistance
Drive
they
carefully.
give our people out in the community. I got a